The following is a Northern State podcasting production.
Tied at 115. Crowd rising to the feet. George will defend Lillard. Spread floor. Lillard with 47 tonight. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh! What? Blazers win the series. A walk-off three from Lillard.
Welcome back to the Fairweather Friends podcast. As always, I am Veg.
I am Ricky.
And on my left, Ricky Reyes. I never know what Ricky's going to say or when he's going to start talking. It's always an adventure. It's great. Before we get to our friend on this episode, do some updates. Not a whole lot of them. My job, they officially hired me.
Congratulations.
Been there for over 2 months. So I was like, oh, now I work here? Cool. This is kind of weird. People congratulate you a lot, too, because apparently they have a lot of people, and I've seen it a little in my short time there, a lot of people who don't make it from being a temp to a full-time employee. They get fired a lot, or they get, well, and actually, it's hard to get fired. There's a guy who started the same day as me, was late pretty much half the days. And they told me in the interview, like, you're late like once during the 30 days, or you miss a day, or the 90 days that they have. If you're late like once or miss a day, you're done. And I watched this guy be late all the time, keep getting more chances. Finally, after a little over a month, he got fired. The next guy who got hired after him got fired.
Sounds
or
like
maybe he quit. He hurt himself.
Sounds like a good workplace.
A high turnover.
Bad. I mean, it's 12-hour shifts, so I get it's tough being on your feet for 12 hours. But other than that, like, they're very low expectations.
Yeah. Get good shoes.
We're packaging wood. Like, if you
Dr.
can pull
Scholl's.
paper down and staple it. Yeah, they should have a Dr. Scholl's station in the lunchroom.
Or a sponsorship,
There you
like
go.
co-branding.
So, yeah, officially hired on. They're like, you fill out all the paperwork to finally be hired, and they're like, all right, now you're going to have 5 T-shirts or 3 T-shirts and a hoodie. I was like, oh, shit.
3 and a hoodie.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
So what the hell do I need 5
Hey,
T-shirts for?
I'm going to the Mariner game on Friday because they're giving away free hoodies. Like, I'll just put
Oh,
that
I
out
know. I went. I was interested in that one, but I work Friday, so
Damn.
yeah, Facebook interested.
there. Facebook interested.
I did quotations with my hands. I made fun of our last guest for making motions like waving, not realizing. Oh wait, we are on YouTube. Fuck yeah!
Yeah, they can see us.
I'm interested in that game. Can't go. But that brings us to a different update. We are going to the Mariners game on the 16th.
Yep.
Because as we've mentioned on like 4 different podcasts, Lori is finally going to be here. It's been scheduled for a while.
Yeah. So it sucks having to wait so long in between visits, but
Yeah, I can't
pretty
imagine.
expensive.
Man. I honestly can't imagine.
yeah.
And then
we're
it
going to
sounds
that.
like
She'll be here. We're gonna do the Tulip Festival. I've never been.
you've never been to the Tulip Festival?
You haven't been to the Tulips?
No,
You've
never.
lived here most of your life, haven't you?
It always just seemed like more of an annoyance than anything.
Oh, yeah, the
I'm with you
traffic,
there,
yeah.
My grandma lived out there, so I usually would be there either before or after it kind of happened, and so I still see the
Just
tulips.
see the
So I'd be
remnants,
on that. And then while she's here, well, we got to do a podcast with her, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know why we wouldn't be able to. We should be able to. And it sounds like Darren Davis is going to come on, and I think she should be our special, as long as she's awake.
Special guest host.
Yeah, special guest host.
I'm sure
Like-
she'd be down.
She's driving, though, from the night before,
Yeah.
like 11 hours, so I won't blame
Yeah,
her
it's
if she wants to
11
sleep.
hours,
Where's she coming from?
Calgary.
Okay, yeah. That's a
And then we're going to the Mariners game that night, so like, I won't
Oh.
blame her if she wants to sleep for a while.
sleep the entire ride down to Seattle.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She's never gone to M's game before though.
Okay,
And it was a good idea to invite Darren because he's down.
Nice.
good. Darren's a good dude.
Andrew, if you're around on the 16th, we're going to the Mariners game. We're just going to buy bleacher seats and
I'd just get the cheapest seats possible. Go stand in the outfield.
It's $15 night. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's gold. Yeah.
yeah, there's a bunch of different places. If we get there early enough, I don't know, I think only like once I've stood out in like the center field one because that's where everyone like.
That's like the bar area. I like standing like by Edgar's Cantina above the bullpen or whatever.
Well,
You're-
so
you're on
above
another
Edgar's
level.
Cantina is
Yeah.
better because
Yeah.
they have their own bar right
Yeah.
there.
That's that level is where I love being.
Yeah, the center field one where on the lower level, that's where like people like congregate the earliest.
And that's where.
But there's no bar.
like-
you actually have to walk back out
And
through everybody.
I'm all for college kids. I don't want to just stand in the middle of them for 3 hours for a baseball game.
Yeah, don't blame me there.
Scenery is like nice, but like I don't need to be there for the entire fucking game.
I'll say this, though. We botched it on the opener because that was exactly where they put the stage for Macklemore to perform.
Oh, damn.
Really?
There was another band down there, like pregame and stuff. And then, that's where the T-Mobile CEO came out and talked. And then Macklemore sang. I thought Macklemore would come out on the field
You'd think so.
with like a wireless
Probably
mic.
didn't, yeah. It's not like he's going to tear up the field, fuck tennis shoes or something.
No. I was honestly more excited for Edgar. He came out through the ceremonial first pitch. And
That's cool. Yeah.
He was up in the booth.
Are you guys going to do the Edgar Martinez weekend in August?
We have to.
Yeah.
Literally, it spans my birthday.
Yeah. Well, one of those
Almost
games I'm
every
definitely going to also. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be so I'd have to go to the 11th because
Yeah, we were talking about maybe
Yeah.
doing, because the Lumineers is the 9th, right?
the Mumford & Sons is
Or
the
Mumford
ninth,
and Sons. So we were talking maybe doing Mumford and Sons at the Gorge on the 9th, but then we could drive back the morning of the 10th and do the 10th.
Yeah.
Because the game's not till like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
The 12th is the Sunday game. It's like a day game, right?
Yeah, I don't know which one is like which giveaway is which, but I want to do like the Edgar Martinez street sign one.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like the Edgar Martinez way. Because like for the Griffey night all those years ago, they give you a little plaque or whatever, like the little Cooperstown plaque or...
See, I've really botched that one too. I didn't go to any of those, and I was
I didn't go to
living
Griffin
20
weekend
minutes
either.
away.
Yeah, that was a missed
The Edgar Martinez
opportunity.
Way, though, the sign is cool because that's a real Seattle street sign. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't make that for the Edgar weekend. They're like, hey, this is like a real thing. You can have it.
And Edgar is just Edgar. I mean, gotta love him.
There's like
Classic.
literally nothing you can dislike about Edgar.
Yeah.
Unless you know him personally and there's like something, I don't know.
And you have beef against Dominicans.
As a sports fan,
The Cubans against the Dominicans. This is the true battle right here we're uncovering.
any other updates, Ricky?
We have a fantasy baseball league currently. I got Jared in there. Gribble.
Jared Johnson,
Yeah.
host of Rain City Sports on the Northern
Spradlin.
State Podcast
Spradlin
Network.
as well. Spradlin carrying the 0-1 record. Kyle Fox also lost. Me and Jared had a victory week 1.
Oh, I forgot about Cal Fox. I haven't seen that kid in forever.
Great man. And then the fill out the league was Drew Douglas. Apparently we went to school with him. The name sounds familiar. Any you guys know him?
The name sounds really familiar.
He's younger?
Yeah,
I
younger.
think he's
around
probably
Gribble's
either
age.
my age or like a year younger.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember the name. You know.
The fantasy baseball is the one fantasy thing that actually wins. So
I don't, because I can't make it through a whole fantasy baseball season and actually pay attention.
I can't make it through a real baseball season and keep paying attention.
it's hard enough to pay attention to basketball, and then there's
Yeah.
like 100 more games.
Yeah. Wake me up when the playoffs start. Like,
Yeah, 80. It's 82 to 162. Ugh. Well, we're a little overdue now on the other voice, our friend Andrew Adkins.
Thank you
Welcome.
for having me. Yeah.
Here for episode 24, which you specifically requested a couple days ago is all. But you requested it because it's your favorite number?
My birthday number and Ken Griffey's number and Kobe Bryant's favorite
Yes.
number.
Yeah, I've always liked, only for the Griffey part. It's no offense, Adkins. I don't care about it being your birthday number.
I don't really care about it being my birthday
Yeah, I don't
either.
really
I
care.
just like Griffey. Yeah.
I don't really care about Kobe all that much. Good player. Respect his skills.
Much better.
It
than
wasn't even
T-Mac.
his number the whole time, though.
No, second half of the career. The better half and my favorite half of the two.
The
The non Shaquille O'Neal
Yeah.
drama half.
yeah, that's not what I was going
The
to go
rebirth.
with. I was going to say
The
the
post-rape.
yeah,
the-
post-rape
The
allegation.
post Kobe Chappelle show skit. Yeah.
The post $5 million ring to apologize to his wife.
You know, that was a hell of an apology. I just gotta tell you.
They just had another girl, right?
Yep.
The guy.
Kobe.
It's all girls.
Apparently, his daughter is an assassin on the basketball court.
Oh, I think she's gonna be like the Mrs. Mamba.
I'm getting kind of tired of these NBA players' kids. Zaire Wade, LeBron's kids.
Yeah, but they're good.
I know. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Why wasn't my dad good at basketball?
Bull.
Bull. What a name. I'm just like
One of Shaq's sons, too, right?
Yeah, he just had a surgery on his heart or something.
I think so. I don't think he's gonna be continuing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, he
Sorry I brought it up.
maybe, but I don't know. I think he's got enough money through the Shaquille O'Neal brand that this kid probably doesn't have to work.
No, I mean, either do LeBron and Wade's kids, but...
But they're going to.
And they're coming up at the right time because they can skip college. It sounds like. Sorry. It sounds like by
Sounds
2021 or 22, they're going to have high school straight to the NBA again. right now, G League, you can get like $100,000 contract or something.
Something like that.
Which is, I mean, worth it, but you're not getting the publicity of being at, on ESPN going to Duke every game,
No.
It kind of evens out somehow, but...
Plus, I'm sure Zion got more than $100,000 to play at Duke last year.
Oh.
Probably.
Oh, I quadruple that, maybe.
Well, and if you go to overseas, you can make millions.
Yeah. Well,
on
and
a one-year contract.
That's what I think they should be doing more. Like, I don't really give a shit about NCAA basketball or sports anymore just because they don't pay the players. I don't really, not really into it.
It seems like those guys peak early, though.
They're getting robbed.
Like Brandon Jennings did that, came in right away, was like better than other college players. He was more battle-tested, more NBA ready, but he really didn't get any better after that. I don't know, maybe that's just him.
He hit his own personal wall. Or
probably
something.
has nothing to do with
And then there's the people
overseas.
that look like unstoppable overseas, like Jimmer. And then he comes back.
Wait, unstoppable. So he played the exhibition game. Everyone freaked out about. He scored like 42 points.
No,
They're like, man, should he come back to the NBA?
He was like the Chinese League MVP or whatever.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, when they played the exhibition game against NBA players, he scored like 43, and everyone's like, oh, should he come back to the NBA? But then you looked at it, he took over 40 shots.
Yeah.
He finally did come back. He plays for the Suns.
Yeah.
I mean, does he actually play for the Suns? Or does
I think
anybody...
It's not hard to play for the Suns,
The only one that's
Andrew.
playing for the Suns is Jay Crossover.
I think we, the three of us, along with Jamal Crawford, could fucking, lose a game for the Suns.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton's not... I mean, Booker and Ayton is a good two guys to start a franchise with that hopefully is good 3 or 4 years from now.
I think they're just mismatched together. I think they would be better separate.
Well, they can't figure out if Booker's a point guard or a shooting guard.
Well, Booker can't figure out what he's
scoring guard.
doing.
That's what he needs to be.
Well, it's because they can't get a point. They keep trying to push him a shooting guard, which is probably the right thing, but they can't get anyone to actually be point guard, and so really he's their best
option
playmaker.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Maybe they'll get Lonzo.
Maybe maybe they'll draft another player exactly like Devin Booker and make another logjam at point guard like they've had the last 5 years.
Enough that they got rid of Isaiah Thomas right before he peaked.
Enough that they had 4 point guards and they got rid of all of them and didn't have one and cost the general manager his job because
at least they didn't pull Minnesota and draft Johnny Flynn and what's his face in the same draft and over Curry.
Oh, it was Ricky Rubio?
Yeah, Rubio. And Rubio wasn't even going to come over for like 2 years, so that's why they took Flynn also.
Well, if we're getting into the land of Minnesota Timberwolves decision making, it's not going to be good.
Be a whole podcast series.
Outside of Kevin Garnett being drafted there, I don't think there can be, or maybe Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns.
Kevin Love. They've been really good at having one good player at a time.
That's true.
But also missing the playoffs.
Yeah, they got the good.
Excellent at missing
Garnett
the playoffs.
got a one good playoff run with Sprewell and Cassell.
And Wally Zerbiak.
Yeah, Zerbiak.
Wally floated around because he played with him on the with LeBron on the Cavs later in his career. He played I think he played in Seattle for
the 3-and-D specialist
a year or two. That might have been the very end. All right, well, we've already wandered off into good topics, but we do this often and
NBA is top.
Don't start with how we even know you, and you came to be on the podcast. You're only 1 grade below us, right?
Yeah.
Which means you're literally just our same age.
Yeah. I'm literally older than Hooker.
Oh, so you're older than Ricky and probably me.
Yeah.
Unless your birthday is on August 12th, 13th, or 14th.
June 24th, 86.
Yeah, so you're one of the guys in the class below us that was actually older.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb's older than me, too.
Caleb, and was Wade?
Maybe.
Anthony Wade?
No, I think Wade was younger.
Yeah, he was a little bit younger.
Okay, I don't know. He always played. I guess when I played baseball, he was always.
Because Anthony was a year below me.
But have you been in Woolley basically your whole life, right?
At least most of it. At least 2/3 of it. The other third was just being a nomad, going around the country and just being a beach bum, living on La La Land.
That was later.
But yeah, most of my childhood, I either lived in Woolley or Mount Vernon. But I went to Woolley even when I lived in Mount Vernon anyway. So. Oh,
interesting. I mean, I always knew who you were and stuff because I've been in Woolley my whole life. So there's a whole bunch of people I always knew who they were and by name and everything. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we didn't really hang out until high school with playing poker and shit.
And basketball and that was about when I got to know you guys for real.
You were a basketball nerd back in the day.
Oh, well, still am. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you wore basketball.
I just remember you wearing jerseys
school,
and shit.
every day.
Something every day.
That's right.
I still have a couple of them. I got rid of most of all that replica stuff, but I sold it on eBay. But
I started buying a lot of jerseys in high school and just after high school.
Yeah, me too.
It was a short phase.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got about dozen to 20 jerseys.
I have at least 6 Kobe jerseys.
So I've got a Kobe. I've got an autographed Lamar Odom jersey from the Clippers days in like 02.
Ooh.
I have an Odom Lakers jersey.
Oh, hey.
Of all things. That might be my most random jersey of
But it's
like I was
signed-
never even a Lakers fan, but I think I even have a Lakers Gary Payton jersey.
Yeah, I remember that.
I definitely have a Sonics
Well,
Gary Payton.
Yeah.
Whenever the Sonics were here, I would always push you guys to go see the Lakers, and that would usually be the one game that we went to every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then until you guys finally got fed up, and you're like, "Why the fuck are we always seeing the Lakers?"
I never actually went to any of those. I never could go. Like I know Corey.
Corey, yeah, me and Corey went a couple times.
So I
I
remember
could have swore you went.
we went in a group. We went and saw the Nuggets and saw Melo in like his,
yeah, Melo and AI.
when in Durant's rookie year, and they destroyed the Sonics by like 40. I literally fell asleep at one point in the stadium.
We had good seats too.
I
right
went
in
to the
middle.
last Laker game against the Sonics.
Really?
And Kobe got thrown out in the third quarter because he yelled at the ref in Italian over a bullshit call.
I was
I
there
always
for that.
forget Kobe
Yeah.
is like grew up in
When
Italy.
he kind of threw the ball
Yeah.
and walked away, and it was in a huff. It was gold. It
That was
well
gold.
worth it.
And then I got to watch my favorite player, Sasha Vujacic.
Oh, a little hairband. Gotta love it. But yeah, we didn't really know each other until like getting in the poker days in high school and afterward. Like that's because I always knew Hooker and Rainwater and a bunch of the other guys from your class, but I didn't really know you guys until later on. Wish I would have known you guys beforehand.
I know, right? We could have.
I mean, there's so many. Yeah, but
We had so much in common.
There is a lot of people too that like. It's like, how come we never hung out? Like,
It's-
how come that just never happened? It's
It's
just
in orbit. It's like it just needs one little asteroid to knock it into closer
much.
orbit. Really,
I think the only difference was we were so into, well, I was at least so into skateboarding. Like, it took precedent over sports.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how many people knew I was a sports fan other than I wore a Lakers hat every day since 8th grade.
No, I just knew because when we would play basketball, like the 3-on-3 tournaments in
Yeah.
the summer or something, it was always like the random collection of us. It was all the cool kids, and then we're just like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna do this ourselves. Whether we win, lose, we're gonna be jacking up a lot of threes.
And we're probably going to be hungover.
Good times.
makes sense. And then you get a lot of people that you have a class with, and you're like your friends during that class, but you don't end up hanging out. If you don't hang out even once outside of class, it's like once that class is over, it's just
Yeah,
back to being like, oh hey, in the hall.
Yeah, just random acquaintances passing down the hallway. But yeah, no, it's weird. Like I have a bunch of people in my life that are just kind of in that orbit that, just take a little bit to like, oh hey, maybe I need to be closer to you because you're fucking awesome, or blah blah blah, or stay the fuck away because it's a horrible individual. Whatever.
One of my favorite poker memories was at your house.
What,
It was-
Sly?
No. That kind of involved. He was definitely there. It wasn't a good memory for me, really.
Uh-oh.
But Hook lost so Hook was all in with somebody on a hand. It might have even been Sly, or Sly pointed out. I don't know, but he's all in on a hand, and River comes down and he thinks he won. And then I pointed out the other person hit a flush or some shit, something. He actually hit something on the river and won the hand. And I'm the chip leader. I've got a stack of chips, literally a pyramid. It's 3 stories tall in a pyramid shape. I'm just like stacks of 10, so it's easy to count out and everything. And I let Hook know, actually, man, he made a flush. And all of a sudden, I don't know if he said fuck you. I don't remember what he said. He shoves over my entire stack of shit. It's one of those funny memories, but like at the time I was like, I didn't even beat you. Like, what was I supposed to do? Sit here and like not let you like know that you lost?
You cheat the game.
Sweep it
You're-
under the rug.
You're cheating yourself if you're cheating the game.
Somebody else would have eventually pointed it out. Hopefully, whoever won the hand, I don't remember who it was. Hopefully, they would have been like, "Hey, man, no, I won this hand."
Where my mind went when you said favorite poker memory was, I think you guys were there and a couple others were in the basement at my grandparents' place
That's
playing
what that
poker.
one was. Yeah.
And it was like the second hand of the tournament, or of the game, or of the day, or whatever.
Which we did tournament style, so you get knocked out.
Yeah.
It wasn't a cash game.
And I remember Sly just talking up like he had like a hand or whatever, and I just called him out of like just for bullshit or whatever, and I ended up hitting like something, and he went out and he left in a big huff And I'm just looking at him like, well, you shouldn't have talked. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, you probably had to walk home because we always gave him rides.
Good old stuff.
Hook hated it. Hook would always end up being the one to give him a ride. I gave him a ride like one time, and we get outside his house, and he just does not get out of the car. He just keeps sitting there talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, started telling me everybody's tells. Like, he read everyone like a book, yet somehow he didn't ever like win.
It's still he lost in the second hand.
Like in The Office, Michael Scott goes all in the first hand, and who was the one that was his like arch enemy HR dude? Toby calls him. He's like, Toby, don't be stupid. Obviously, I have a really good hand. I went all in. And Toby's like, well, I've got a good hand, and obviously the dealer won't let him pull his chips back out, so they have to do it. And Michael Scott was bluffing, and Toby had pocket jacks. They ended the hand, though, without actually doing, like, the flop, turn, and river.
Anything.
They just passed the chips to Toby, like, hey, you made the right call, you win. And that's how poker should be.
Just fold. It's literally, it should be called folding instead of poker.
Oh, they should just go by, who has the best hand when we both decided to go in? Fuck the rest of the cards. So many times you go all in. Although...
That's a game I think you might have to, like, invent. Like, that might be... a different
it completely changes.
Just face card.
It completely changes the game though. People would fold all the time because it's like ace king all of a sudden is really not worth shit.
That's true.
You can't gamble with it.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, if I don't have a chance to hit something, then
it's just
still ace high, though.
Two random cards. I mean, yeah, it is ace king high, but yeah.
A lot of good Pokemon.
The only
Actually,
thing that beats me is a pair.
That's what. So we were doing the Game of Thrones trivia podcast or Song of Ice and Fire because it was the books. And Blair and Hook, and they do this all the time. It comes up. So there's a poker hand with me and Colin at my house, my parents' house. Everyone's out of town. We had a bunch of people over. So we like Madden in the side room for when you lost. And
that's where I was.
Gotta have a side room.
Yeah, we had a hand between me and Colin, and we're both being aggressive, and neither of us believes the other person has a hand. And finally, he calls my all in on the river, and I was like, oh, you got me, Colin. I was like, good call. I just had jack high. And Colin throws his cards over, and he had, like, it was either 6 or 7 high, but it was in a way where, like, any two combination of lower cards, he would have had either a pair or a straight. Like, he couldn't have had, it was literally the worst hand available with the 5 cards that were out there. And that's what Hook and Blair bring it up, like, all the time on call. He called it, because he's like, he just knew I didn't have a hand. But it didn't matter. Like, at some point, you have to realize...
You don't have a hand either.
Yeah, if you realize you don't have a hand either, you got to abandon ship.
Not only not having a hand, he literally, if he looked at it, would have like you have no hand you can beat. Any lower cards, you have a pair at least, and then you can beat something or a straight. So, another good poker moment.
We got to get some more poker games going.
This table would be perfect for it.
Well, we did a couple of Zacks, and everyone always says like, "Hey, yeah, we got to make this like a semi-regular thing," and then it keeps not happening.
I always say that I want to play, but I never play.
Yeah, Hooker invited me to the one he had a couple months ago or whatever, but I had other plans for that. So
yeah, I've been to 2. I know they did one more that I couldn't go to, but I don't know if there have been any other ones. If they have, I just haven't been invited.
Anyone listening wants to play poker? Holla at your boy.
Holla!
Yeah, we can barely get these podcasts made, but we got time for poker.
Yeah,
we do.
And do the podcast while you're playing poker.
While or after, we can do a loser's corner. Interview people as they get knocked out.
We'll have pocket cam under everybody's.
Do it like the World Series of Poker, except our version of it.
I mean, we can cut holes in this table. I was planning on cutting at least a hole so we can like run these cords underneath it.
Have you seen the tables with the power bar in the middle?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, like for like plugging stuff in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at college campuses, I've seen it. All 4
on
that
all the
I've
podcasts
attended.
my brothers are watching. My brother watched. They have like all their shit right there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you get the tables, they have the metal legs that are hollow, and they run the cords up it, so they plug the table in, and there's a cord that runs up, and they've got it. Usually, it's like a flap that like actually does push down flush when you're not using it.
Yep,
which is nice.
Or the ones that have the hole, just a big hole in the middle that comes with like a little like filler, like stopgap, like Frankenstein's base right here.
I do a bad job of like
it's a Festivus miracle.
I always put my right arm up. I lean on my right arm, which I realize because of where I sit at this table when we are filming, I'm completely blocking from camera.
Well, you look like a little cholo there with your flannel on.
So my friend had her birthday. It was her 30th birthday, and they decided to make it themed Flannelly 30 instead of Finally 30. And so I finally bought a flannel for the first time in my life, like 2 weeks ago.
You're going full Kurt Cobain, aren't you?
Oliver Hammer. And it's very comfy. And we're at a point in spring where it's like, it's not so cold that I need to throw a coat on, but it's cold enough usually that I'm like, I need something long sleeve, so I've been wearing it, and it'll be a good camping thing, and stop making fun of me.
It's like a mid-layer.
You're Al Borland. I'm Tim Taylor.
Wow.
You can be, because,
Wow.
well, I guess Tim Taylor, the character,
You're mostly
good guy.
the host.
The actor has gotten into some trouble in his life.
You're very more sensible than I am. That's true.
He's not Al Borland in real life. Let's just put it that way.
I don't know shit about carpentry. But it turns out, so I'll just throw our research for this show is basically Facebook.
Yep.
At least mine.
Nailed it.
I mean, always knew you were in video, audio stuff from stuff you posted on Facebook, which, being reminded of that today, I was like, well, fuck, we should have called you when we started this thing. Because, like, we're trying to figure out how to even make it record each microphone in a separate channel. Apparently, you really just can't do it with Audacity. Supposedly, if we pan our microphones to opposite sides, it should work, but...
We'll have, like, one on our right side.
One on left?
Yep.
Yeah, so when we were doing the podcast, when it was NBA and it was just the two of us, we tried that. It didn't work.
Yeah, you gotta have, like, a different microphone would be better for doing something like that. Like a shotgun microphone, where it's... Okay, so these have... The waves are, like, right here. Like,
yeah, it's kind of a cone.
shotgun mic is more on the side. It's longer and skinny, so anything coming from the sides is what's going in. So if, like, Ricky was on this side, he would be talking into that side of the microphone. And if I was over here, I'd be talking on this side of the microphone.
So you'd use one microphone for two people?
You could. You could use a shotgun microphone. But, like, these are different. So it's just, you use different equipment for different tasks.
Yeah, and I saw a microphone like that. They had because I've been looking for, or been debating getting the mic stands that actually hang the mic or whatever. And they actually have a cheap one on Amazon that comes with that kind of stand and one of those shotgun mics. And it's only like $38.
Yeah.
Which I was like, holy shit. But, I mean, I want everyone to have their own microphone because I don't want to sit that close to people.
Yeah.
But I've seen that with other ones where they have like a plate behind it.
Yeah.
So that it like...
The sound kind of reverberates back into it.
And blocks out people across the table or whatever. So
Yep.
Debating that. It'd be nice to have like a semi-permanent setup here in the, our studio is called The Asylum.
The Asylum.
Because we are part of Northern State Podcasting Network.
Fair enough.
And that was just the first thing that popped in Ricky's head, and it was perfect.
Well, I mean, yeah, Northern State Asylum, like, it all works.
Oh, actually,
gotta do
you're
a
getting very
little-
good at naming, because you also are now we're naming... I didn't even mention it on the podcast. Damn it. On the Game of Thrones podcast I started, Chaos is a Ladder, Ricky's like, we got to name Hook's house where we were recording it, the brothel.
Oh, yeah.
Especially since the show's title is based off a Littlefinger quote.
Yep, that works.
I also put in another Littlefinger quote for the outro, where it's like, when you're with an ugly woman, you just like, I don't even want to misquote it, but it's when they're talking about what to do with Daenerys when she's overseas. It's like first season.
Yeah.
So he's basically making the point of like, just get done with it. He says, he straight up says like, slit her throat, be done with it. But it's a good.
Damn.
It's kind of
Cold-blooded.
Littlefinger has ice flowing through his veins. I mean, not no more, but he did.
I did it almost like a Marvel, like after the credits thing though, because I
Nice.
have like the outro music starts, and the way it is it's like kind of quiet, and then it has a little dip, and then all of a sudden it hits hard. So right in that dip, I split it and put the quote in there. So
Nice.
a lot of people will hear that music start and they'll just turn the podcast off. But if you hang out for 10 seconds, or like
Easter egg.
6 seconds or something like that,
You're going to
you
have
get
to
a
hang
very-
on for those 10 extra seconds.
Yeah, you get a terrible Littlefinger quote that is horrible toward women.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, you guys excited?
Yes.
For the 5 days?
Yes.
I've been thinking of watching, instead of watching the whole run, because I only made it to episode 3, I'm just going to check off the landmark episodes.
What, episode 9 of
like,
every season, basically?
So I was
I'm
looking
gonna watch Red Wedding, and I gotta watch the one where the guy hurls the thing and hits the dragon.
yeah, that's in season 7.
That's the last one. Or season, yeah,
the
season.
last season.
I've seen so many memes
yeah.
of that. I gotta
Well,
see it.
I was on Ibiza, Spanish little tiny little island in the Mediterranean, and I had my friend's HBO Now account, like be able to watch it when I was over there. It didn't work because I was in a different country, so I had to watch it illegally, of course,
well.
obviously. So now every time that somebody mentions the Night King throwing that, my mind goes back to sitting on that little Wi-Fi spot of
you
the
left-
little Ibiza and just watching it. And my first thought was Kobe.
Me too.
And then my buddy goes, "Yeah, you're 10, not you're 20." And it's like, yeah, that's accurate.
Because
way.
he actually hit him.
Yeah.
But I was looking up synopsises for season 7 before
Hold-
when we did the last.
Before we move on, did you take a pill in Ibiza?
Wait, what is this referring to?
You never heard that song?
Yeah.
No.
So, okay, so this is before that song. This is like a year and a half before that song, because I was there in 2015 for a couple days on my giant world trip, and then I went and spent a month and a half there in 2017. So 2015, I'm there with my friend and his 2 brothers were on a European vacation with their mother, who had this. They sent me the detailed itinerary list. Psychopath.
Oh, man.
Like every 10 minutes was, okay, put your luggage in a locker here at this station. Walk over to the museum for 17 seconds. Walk over here.
Bathroom break scheduled?
No, there was no bathroom breaks at all. So when I told my buddy Ernst,
Oh, so they weren't like literally
Yeah,
like we do not stop for the bathroom.
it was literally like National Lampoons like in the modern time. But so I let my buddy know that I was going to be over in Ibiza, and he's like, "Good. We need to get away from my mother." And so they abandoned their mom in like Germany or something and came and partied with me for a couple days in Ibiza. And that's where the pill came in.
Ooh.
Because okay, we all have fun there. Like, you don't eat a lot on Ibiza. It's hot. Like, you sleep during the day, you go party at night. It's basically if you took Las Vegas, put it on Hawaii, and made it for like European people. Pretty fucking awesome.
Sounds amazing.
So just take out all the casinos and just make it all clubs and music and just debauchery. Like, it's fucking awesome. So we're after a concert at one of the outdoor venues, we are at a bar, and my buddy goes to buy a couple pills or whatever, and he's a experienced user. I don't really do that much of that nature. And so I take the pill, and we're sitting in this bar, and 5 minutes goes by, and I just look at him, and I'm like, I'm not okay.
No worse feeling if you're high to be like, this is not the right high I was going for.
Like, the walls are moving, like, the lights, like, are blinking, and they're not. But I know, like, in my head they are. And we walk outside, and he's like, okay, like, where do you want to go? It's like, anywhere else but here. So he takes me in this little courtyard area, like, for the little, like, condos. And it's this darkened area with, like, a bench. I just go take a nap for, like, 2 hours, because I was just so, like, I had to lay down and, like, just be like, I'm here. Here, hold my passport.
This is reality.
I keep feeling for it in my pocket. Just hold on to it, because I'm freaking out, man. And so 2 hours later, I get up, and he's like, okay, so it's like 4 a.m., so obviously everything's still going strong there. And he's like, so what do you want to do? And so we walk back to where, like, the taxi stand is, and I asked the taxi driver, he's like, okay, how much is it to get to Old Town, which is where the hostel we were staying at. He's like, oh, about €25. I look at her, and it's like, how much is it to get into that club? Oh, about €25. Right back to the club. Let's go. Yes. And so, like, the next day, like, he told me this. He's like, yeah, dude, I don't know what that stuff was, because that was, like he's done it a lot. And it made him throw up. Like, it was too strong for him.
And so he gave it to you.
Well, no. We found out all this together.
Took it at the same
Like,
time.
Okay.
we all took it at the same time.
Oh, this time it made him throw up. He's like, that's not right.
So, like, the next day, he's telling me, like, that shit was really way too strong, because even he threw up, and he's, like, a relative experienced Molly user. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
I mean, I've definitely never heard of anyone throwing up on Molly.
it was, because it had something in it. Like,
If you mix it with, yeah.
It was something else. I don't know what it was, but anytime somebody says, "Oh, you take a pill in Ibiza," my head drops a little bit, because it's like, okay, yeah, I know that feeling.
All right, plug that song. Whose is that song?
It was,
Not
Mike
Mike Posner.
yeah, yeah.
Posner.
But he shouts out Avicii, who Avicii rescued.
Yeah, he took a pill in Ibiza with Avicii to think he was cool, or whatever is how the song
You don't
goes.
remember
It's a horrible song, but its memory association will
I gotta
always
spend
take
more
me
time
to
with
that.
people who listen to a lot of music, because I don't listen to a lot of music when I'm on my own.
Done Molly before?
No, I have not. Actually, that's one that I want to try.
It's fun for like 5 minutes,
But I
and
wanna
then
try
I just
it.
want to be done.
Like, at a place where I'm not
I
leaving.
will counteract that and say, it's always fun.
I know I've like been at the bar with Ricky, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm on Molly right now." Like I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
Yeah.
He's zoning out, and you were acting pretty normal because we were at like it was before G's Castle.
Yeah.
Matt was DJing.
I was able to control myself from whatever I found.
Yeah.
Never found anything as good as what.
Yeah,
you
and
had.
I've heard of other people talk about doing it and like never had any issues, but not a ton of people.
Yeah,
Right.
like the dosage that I had in Ibiza had to have been like 4 times the amount of that I should have taken. Like, if you take like the normal dose, it could be really fun. But yeah,
The only drug harder than weed I've done is shrooms once.
yeah, that's
Shrooms
fun.
are fun.
I like that. I enjoy that.
My former Western roommate, apparently, if I hadn't left when I did, was going to try to get us to do ecstasy and go down to a rave in Everett.
That would have been
Something
amazing.
like that. I don't remember. I was like, oh, I don't know.
We could have been having an entirely different podcast if you did that.
I wasn't ready for that. I was 18. Wasn't happening.
You got to be in the right mood for a lot of that
Yeah, be
stuff. Like,
prepared
if
for
you
it.
go in a different mindset, like, it cannot be a good thing.
I don't know if I want to be in a public place the first time.
Probably not.
We'll go here. We'll just turn on some music, dim the lights, get a strobe going.
Do a rave at Ricky's house.
Put
and
up some
listen.
padding on the
X.
wall.
Yeah, me and Matt have done that before.
Oots.
I always end up wanting to leave though. Go on a walk or some shit.
Going outside whenever you're high just feels so good after you've been
Yeah,
inside.
the cold air. Just,
Really?
Yeah.
because you, like, with Molly or something, usually, like, you're sweating or whatever, just because, you know, you're...
Sounds creepy.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Are
Makes
we
you
in Home
sweat.
Alone here? Is this the basement of Home
Oh,
Alone?
the heater. We're able to reduce that noise pretty good. It usually doesn't come through. Yeah, hasn't been an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had many other issues that have been much bigger than that issue.
Just power right through them.
All right. Well, what's your next topic?
Well,
Can
we're
I
gonna digress back
can
to
I go
the-
into the next topic?
Well, I want to hit the audio thing real quick,
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
because we didn't jump into that. So you actually, with the audio video, well, first of all, you started your own company, so you're a independent contractor, basically, right?
Yeah, independent freelancer, basically. Yeah.
Because you were talking about you did a gig for ESPN, for USA Rugby.
I did 2 of them the last last month. I did 2 ESPN gigs. The first one's for ESPN. This was through a company in Texas that I've worked for, freelance for the last, 7 years or whatever. A lot of the track and field stuff that I do for this company out of Texas, it's at UW or down in Portland or whatever. So basically, I just have to go and monitor the soundboard and have somebody speaking it. The commentator, just basically a commentator manager. So
basically a producer.
basically, yeah, just sitting there with the hands on the levels, basically just going up and down.
Everything we needed to learn before,
Could have.
at least to get an idea of
Yeah,
it.
you could have just hit me up. But so that's what I've been doing with them. But each company I do little different things for. So they set me up with the ESPN gig because they were subcontracting it out to ESPN, even though they were still doing the production. It was basically like a co-production.
Yeah, so how do you? So, I mean, you own your own company, but how do you get contacted for? How do you market to make sure that people know that you?
A lot of it's
I mean,
word
get
of mouth.
hired.
A lot of it's just, hey, I know this guy. You got this gig. I know this guy that can do it. Some of it is replying to ads, classified ads online that used to be Craigslist and all that shit before it turned to murdery.
Yeah, that's why I was worried about
A lot
Uber.
of, lot
in
of
the
sex
beginning.
trafficking.
Yeah,
People told me they
better
used
stay
it.
out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, when people first started telling me they used Uber, I was like, you're just going to tell people where you're at and let them come pick you up in their car? I was like, you've heard of the Craigslist killer, right? What?
And especially the one dude in Florida that would drive people to the airport and then go and immediately break into their house. Brilliant.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Florida man strikes again.
I could have done that in
It's-
Bellingham.
I mean, it's brilliant. It's horrible, but it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah, help yourself to the array of beers.
Ooh.
They're just sitting out.
I'll go with the Tropic.
They're good stuff.
Thank you.
Darren had one the other day, too, I believe.
Yeah,
But
Darren.
yeah, so the last 10 years has just
have a
been
bottle
all freelancing, word of mouth and or replying to an ad that then developed into another gig down the road and down the road. That's how I got the gig for the company out of Texas. They're called Flow Sports. I started doing camera work for them at the UW track events in January's of every year, basically, and then did that for a couple years, and they had an opening for doing the audio stuff, and that's a lot less being on your feet. So I was like, yeah, fuck, I'll do that. And it's a lot easier. And I basically don't feel like I work at all during
it's kind of cool that
That's
you've
awesome.
gotten, because you went to the Seattle Institute?
Art Institute of Seattle.
Institute of Seattle?
Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But that's cool that, you learn video and audio stuff, so like you can kind of do either one.
Mm-hmm. And I learned photography a little bit also. So I can, I've been kind of jumping between the three realms the last 10 years. Is what project dictates something different than the previous one. So like one of the things I'm finishing now is I'm finishing editing a documentary of the Toronto trip I went on in 2017, where I went and helped my friend kind of start his own startup company in the world of tech business, and just filmed a documentary of 2 months of living in that train wreck of watching, people fall to the wayside and, things just not go as planned in the land of Super Bowl or bust expectations that he had.
Ooh.
So
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Real life.
So I have the first 5 episodes done. They've been done for last 6 months or whatever. They're on one of my websites, and then I've been finishing the last 5 episodes so I can get that done, and then start working on my own travel series, documentary of all the footage that I filmed in Asia over last fall. So do my own little Anthony Bourdain kind of thing.
I'll say we definitely wanted to talk about your
Awesome.
travels.
Yeah. So that's what the next big thing is for me is because I filmed 70 hours of footage over that 22 days in Asia.
Damn.
So I did 3 months worth of adventuring in a month. So I was exhausted when I got back, but I have all this footage.
Yeah, I remember we were
that
talking a
I've
little
been
bit about that at Hook's wedding.
Yeah, I was really excited and really worried about getting shanghaied in Shanghai.
It would have been such a good story, though.
I didn't know. Okay, you get shanghaied on the high seas, you've just been kidnapped by pirates. If you get shanghaied in Shanghai, does it mean something different?
Ooh.
Is it waking up in a bathtub with your kidneys out? Your tub of ice.
The whole episode of the documentary.
Yeah. So
what is Shanghai in Shanghai?
Yeah. So unfounded fear. That's what I was worried about when the last time you saw me the week before I was flying away. I was excited to go to Singapore and all that stuff, but I was I don't want to die in Shanghai or Malaysia.
Yeah, I'd really like for you to see me again.
I like living now.
All the people I hear that do these
Mm-hmm.
big long trips in foreign countries by themselves, I'm I just couldn't do it.
It's great.
Not because of the danger. I've realized from females, because they fear so many things that I've realized, wow, I should be afraid more often.
And they have every right to be
They
afraid.
completely do.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't even, as a man, I don't even think about it.
Yeah, it's because it's not something that you would normally think of. But I'll tell you
They
what.
scare the shit out of me. I'm like, we could get robbed and stabbed right now. Damn it.
I'll tell you, Matt, go to Egypt or go to Malaysia, and you will know what it feels like to be a woman.
Ooh.
Because
any country where people are just carrying open weepons, I'm going to be
fearing
for my life all the time.
The way that people look at you, in Malaysia, I'm walking down the street, and there's a bunch of Thai ladyboys. Big culture there. I don't give a fuck. But what I do give a fuck about is them chasing me down the road, trying to get money from me, and yet I'm the one getting looked at weirdly. It's they didn't even render services. They just want money to chase, random white guys down the road. It's
what services were you looking for, Andrew?
Well, I wasn't, but they were.
You going for an Eddie Murphy situation?
The dude that was in the older British dude that was he was the bunkmate of my hostel. He was 60 or something. He was on exile or whatever. I don't know. He kept talking about things you talked to his son that day. I didn't believe him at all. But anyway, he was telling me, and then I subsequently saw him get chased by these Thai ladyboy hookers that wanted him.
Services have been rendered.
Yeah, he had services rendered that he didn't pay for and he ran away from. I didn't have anything done, and I still got chased because I just looked the way that I did.
Sometimes it's fun to just run.
Yeah.
But it's a country like there where you learn that you walk with traffic. You walk against traffic. You don't walk with traffic, because if you're walking with traffic, say you're walking on the sidewalk, and one of the big popular things in Asia is scooter theft. So, like, they'll have a person driving a bike or a scooter and a person riding bitch on the back. They'll pull up right behind you as you're walking down the sidewalk and with your back to them and just knock you out and steal your shit and hop on the bike and go. So you always walk against traffic.
So you can see them coming.
Yeah.
Get your,
Good advice.
It's, you know, it's, I mean,
Survival.
it's, you know, that could work in Seattle and or, you know, Cairo, Egypt. Like, you
That
never
could
know.
definitely
Like,
work in
you know,
Seattle.
Yeah, I saved your life. You never know. You know.
In Seattle, I walked back from Cap Hill to DeSoto all drunk at like 2 a.m, and people were like, "What the? You survived?" I'm like, "Was I in danger?" Like, what do
Well-
you mean I survived? I did purposely walk around Pioneer Square.
See, that's
was-
the big thing.
Just
Yeah.
cognizant enough
Yeah.
to be like, I'm not walking through Pioneer Square.
Yeah. If
I
you walk
dated a girl
Pine-
who lived in that area. I saw all the homeless people, heard
You-
gunshots.
You don't walk through
From her
that area at
apartment.
night.
Yeah. So
I
I
love
walked all
it-
the way down to Alaskan Way, and I cut from there across to the Capital One building where my car was in the parking garage, and I got in the back seat and went to sleep.
Yep.
Two,
Brilliant.
2 years ago, I went to San Francisco on a work trip, and I was so infatuated with the skate culture that I went out into town, got a little bit drunk, a little bit of other stuff, and I walked around from like 10 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning, just around San Francisco, not knowing where the fuck I was.
Mm-hmm.
I could have very easily got murdered. You could have got.
Well, I mean, it's San Fran. It's
Or
not
invited
Oakland.
to a rave.
Like,
yeah, right. Well, there's this.
You
There's
could
a
have gotten
certain
invited to a...
Oh man,
I did have a guy when I walked from Cap Hill invite me, like, do you need to you want to come to my apartment and, like,
The only
sober
thing
up?
was
Like, no,
somebody
I'm good.
offered me. He's like, "You want to buy some blow?" But he was like, "I got to sell it to you in the strip club." And I was like,
What?
"Well, no, not gonna do that."
No.
Like, if you had it on you, I mean, sure, but...
If there's ever a statement after, but we got to do this. No.
I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, that was sketchy, but
But was Malaysia and those, was that the most scared you've been on your travels?
Malaysia, okay, I've been to 20 countries. Malaysia would rank on number 19. Number 20 would be Egypt.
For most scared?
Yeah.
Okay,
I cannot tell you how many people showed me their gun that they would have shot me with in Egypt. Like, you have to go through security and, like, metal detectors to get out to the pyramids because it's all one big protected land. And you have to have a tour guide or
Well,
else
that's good.
they won't let you in. So, like, the tour guide was cool, but we get in there, and I'll just tell you, like, 3% of the population were really nice. The other 97% were just lifting up their shirt and showing me their gun that they had, that if I stepped out of line or said anything that they would have had no problem shooting me for. So, and, like, it wasn't even like, oh, hey, like, are you American or whatever. Like, I could have been South African. They
But I
wouldn't
mean,
have
it
gave
sounds
a
like
fuck.
they were just using it as a deterrent so no one would try to shoot them.
Well, okay, how did they get the guns through the metal detectors? That's...
Oh,
Yeah. So, like, this is where, like, the whole bunch of things come, like, cascading down. It's like, you're there, you go through all the security to get out there, and then all these randos just have these assault weapons. It's like, why did I go through security to get through here if I'm just going to be under threat of death?
they should have sheathed them like Corey and Ricky and Corey's stories.
I mean...
I had a friend who went to school in Egypt
Corey's stories.
because his dad was in the military.
Yeah.
Said the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to leave the airport.
No. Oh, no. To that point. Okay, I got back. You have to have a driver to take you from the airport to the tour guide or whatever. He waited for me to get the tour, 4 hours of the tour, blah, 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 and then go back. So I had like 36 hours left in the country. And when I showed up and talked to the driver beforehand, he knew that I had like 40 hours total or whatever. So when I get back into the vehicle after the pyramids tour, he's like, okay, well, you got like 36 hours left in the country. Like, where do you want to go? Back to the fucking airport. And so, like, this is where things, like, I was thinking, like, okay, like, it's going to be okay. And then about halfway to the airport, traffic is just a mess. Like, people are literally running across freeways as, like, crosswalks. Like, no rhyme or reason. Like, hopefully that person will stop. Doesn't matter. But, so, like, you're feeling this whole area, like, all this random anarchy just going right around you. Like, there's garbage everywhere. There is horses and other animals piling through the garbage, like trying to eat food or whatever. So it's just like buildings are crumbled. You feel like you're in fucking like Constantinople, like 1000 BC. Like you're just like, is this how it all starts, or is this how it all ends? And so we're getting closer to the airport, and the driver pulls over at like an ATM or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to need more money. Like, okay, that's great. And then he conveniently forgot how to speak English. He had spoken English perfectly up until that point, and then when I said what, he said he just wouldn't say anything else until I gave him more money. So I was like, okay, well, go get...
It's when you get out and run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was not running here. So I go in, I get 100 Egyptian dollars out, which is $8 American. Like,
okay, well,
so like like grand scheme of things, like $8 for my life. Okay, like here we go. Like if it was $9, maybe you could just take me. Like whatever.
Fuck you, dude.
Not doing double digits.
But I get back in the car, hand him the money, and he conveniently remembers how to speak English and says, "Okay, let's go to the airport." Get through. You have to go through like 7 different security checkpoints to get onto a plane in that Egypt, in Cairo airport. So like you have to get through the military to get into the front door. So like there are Uzis and a bunch of other just high assault weapons just walking around, just checking your passport, and you have to have your documents like already printed out and everything, just so like they know that you're supposed to be there. And so I went up, and there was a Burger King on the second level of that airport terminal with a booth. I just went and hung out at that Burger King for like 30 hours and just watched like the military guys just pace back and forth, because that was like the safest place that I could have possibly been, because the U.S. Embassy closed like a couple years prior to that.
It's crazy you don't hear about that, because like people go to Egypt, there's great things
pretty
to
crazy.
see there. Like it's a very touristy,
Yeah.
pyramids, all that stuff.
Yeah. But
How the hell did the Red Hot Chili Peppers do a concert in the pyramids?
they had to pay somebody off.
That's insane.
A lot of money. But then at the airport in Egypt, like to get into like the main terminal area for like where all the airlines are, like to go check in, you have to go through another security checkpoint. You have to go through a metal detector, an X-ray machine, and then you go get all your stuff, and then you get to your gate. You have to go through another metal detector, another X-ray machine, and I'm standing behind a couple. They're from Central Africa somewhere. My guess would have been like Sudan or Ethiopia or something. They were large and darker skinned, but I couldn't see her because she looked like Darth Vader, because she had like the shawl over her face and completely covered and everything, because that was like their religion or their.
It's kind of hot though, right? You're like, what's under there?
I was intrigued, but the main thing I was intrigued about standing behind this in line was, how is she going to get through security? Like, how you hand them a passport, they can't look at your face. Like, how do they do this? So what they had was female employees at the airport that would take them to a separate little private security check zone. So like that's where
check out what's under those robes.
Yeah, that's what Darth Vader was unmasked, and you get to see Anakin Skywalker, and he's like, oh my god, like the lava didn't help him at all. I had the high ground.
Now I'm just picturing a woman giving another woman a cavity search.
Ooh.
I mean, you weren't prior to this conversation.
I mean, it hadn't popped in quite yet,
but
I mean, it would have probably later, I'm sure.
But needless to say, when I got out of Egypt and landed back in Greece, I was so happy. Like, I was just like, okay, I survived this nightmare. And so, like, even though Malaysia wasn't great, like, it still was a lot better than Egypt.
Hook has to stop complaining about his little Greek island misadventures. It was nothing.
Sounds like fun.
He's never going to stop complaining. You know him.
He loves to. Well, he loves attention. All right, so
that's true.
Before we go to a break, if those were 19 and 20, what's your favorite place that you traveled to?
Singapore.
Singapore?
Mm-hmm. Just for the temperature, the food, and the fact that it's kind of how I think the rest of society should be, where like it doesn't really matter where you're from. if you're there, and people treat you with respect.
We pretend
awesome.
like that's America.
It's the ideal of America, but it's
We accept everyone except for that country and that country and that,
that
country.
country, that country.
And most of the people that are born here.
But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I have the only place comparable to Singapore as far as like overall like people like treating each other with respect was when I was in Texas, in Austin, Texas, walking around, and strangers would just be like, "Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Welcome to Texas. Where are you from?"
But that's because they have guns, so they're not scared.
Well, they don't care.
They're not
But-
afraid of anybody. Texas.
But there's not really many guns or anything in Singapore, so everybody's pretty chill and lax. And just, it doesn't really matter where you're from. It's such a big melting pot of Asian cultures that, yeah, there's a Singaporean dynamic to it, but it's all from a bunch of different cultures. So there's little India right next to little Thailand, which is right next to, little Shanghai or whatever. So it's like, it doesn't matter where you're from, just as long as you're there, like, they treat you with respect.
All right, moral of this story, be more like Singapore,
Right.
America. And then I think it's the perfect time for We Blowing Up break, and then Ricky's got some mystery topic because we don't do pre-production, we don't do pre-podcast meetings, and
The
I guess all
mystery-
the topics that we've been brought up have been mysteries to Ricky too.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although we've mostly just kind of flowed through. So we'll do We Blowing Up, and then we'll be right back.
Ricky, things have been starting to go a little better in my life lately. Got a new job, starting to make a little money, save a little.
That's awesome.
Got to move out of the old, parents' house. Be good, but
Yeah, eventually.
I feel like there's something bigger missing in life. I
I'm
don't know.
gonna just throw out. Is it a vagina?
Oh, I don't blame you for going there. I can see why you would go there. But no, I got a pocket pussy from Adam and Eve, so we're good there for now.
Good to go. Okay, good to know.
I don't need to deal with some chick
Some
blabbering in my
unnecessary
ear all the
drama,
time,
right?
because can't have one without the other. No, it feels like something bigger. Like, a lot of people travel. I've never really traveled.
Me neither. It's number one on everybody's list, but very few people actually venture out to do it.
I've messed around with the dating apps a little bit, not put a lot of effort into it, but it's a very common thing in chicks' profiles to say they're looking for someone to like, or at least they say they like to travel and they want someone to like travel with.
I mean,
So if nothing else, this can bring it back to yours. Maybe if I start traveling, I'll get some puss.
yeah, at least being open to it, you might open some new horizons.
I don't know. Where should I go though? What do we think? What would be a good place to go? I mean, we have on good authority that was it Singapore?
Singapore is number one.
And avoid Egypt because everyone carries fucking guns, even somehow into areas that they had to go through metal detectors.
Exactly. You do not want to be the lone American in Egypt.
Thank you,
Sure.
Andrew, for that advice.
Yes, very turbulent times. You could check out Ibiza if you're.
Pop some pills in Ibiza.
Shout out to Avicii, rest in peace.
Yeah, no, you know what? I gotta do it. Gotta do it. That and some music festivals. I feel like, I gotta get out of Cedar Woolley more. Out of Skagit Valley.
There's a difference between having money and having experiences. And this is how I've based my life. Like, I would prefer to have the experience of being somewhere rather than having a couple $1,000s in my bank account.
Yeah, I do like some money in case my car breaks down. It's always good to get that fixed. It would
I
be
haven't
nice
had
to
a car
have
for the
some
last 3
money
years.
when I retire. Like, it would be good to be able to, like, eat when I retire. Well,
You
to be
know-
able to retire.
What
But-
my personal opinion has been when I'm old and my body breaks down, I will be willing to learn all these things that college requires. But now that I'm young and my body is still spry and youthful, I want to be out there experiencing things.
I honestly thought you were going to say, when I'm old, I'm going to walk off into the woods. I'm just going to lay down and let it be. And just die.
At this rate, I might go play with squirrels and I might just live in the woods.
Fuck retirement. Fuck needing money for it. I'm just going to wander off in the woods and let nature take me.
It's all a game at this point. It's
But-
just where you want to.
All right, so I got to start looking for some cheap plane tickets. There's a lot of
There's a lot of cheap
apps
plane
where you
tickets
can
now, so-
find sort of. I got to ask people, I guess. A Google search, but I know there's different apps and websites where you can find where's cheap tickets to some random place. You know what? Maybe I won't worry about where I'm going. I'll just find tickets. Where is it cheap to go to? I'll go there. Except Egypt.
Just go and experience it, brother.
Not Egypt. I got to ask Andrew more of his top 20. He had 19 and 20. Didn't sound good at all. So maybe somewhere around 15.
And we all know Hook's
cheap
experience.
Yeah, if you go to Greece, don't take a ferry out to a small island. You may be stuck there for like 3 days.
But if you take a year off, you've saved enough money, you work diligently.
Year?
And take a half a year off. Some of these,
I was thinking like 2 weeks, maybe.
Some of these foreign countries are really cheap, like Thailand.
Maybe I can find one where I can just afford to buy a house.
Tuscany. There's never any.
Hook was talking about that too. Where were they? Was that in Greece that he was looking at buying a fucking house?
He was really into getting into the real estate business out there. But never look for a house in Tuscany. There's nothing available.
Thank you, character from Seinfeld whose name I don't remember.
The Maestro.
Was that the Maestro?
Yeah.
When Elaine was dating him. So, all right. Well, I guess sponsor this show of this segment of We Blowing Up that we didn't even mention the name of is travel. We're gonna look into it.
Travel,
just like working out
and experience.
Travel and experience, concerts. A lot of talk of concerts this podcast.
Money is good, but at the end of the day, if you die and all you have is a bank account full of money, what do you really have?
Do you really want to let your family have all that money?
All you have is jack shit, and you have a fucking argument between your family members on who gets the benefit from you.
When you're having these experiences, don't spend the whole fucking time taking pictures and videos on your phone. Look at it with your own goddamn eyeballs, not through a phone.
Just get out there and live it, brother.
It drives me nuts. I'd like to take a picture here and there, but people who spend the whole time like stopping, because we got to stop and take pictures to document that. No, just enjoy it. Have fun.
Aside from the occasional safety selfie, so that way we know you're safe, we will excuse that, but yes.
It feels like people do it more to just throw it in the face of the people who are not there with them.
Exactly. You're like, oh, hey, I'm on vacation. What are you doing?
Look how awesome it is in Puerto Rico with all my friends, except you, because you're at home looking at it on Instagram. Eat it. No, I'm joking. None of my friends went to... Yeah, okay, I did have a group of friends go to Puerto Rico. I'm not bitter at all. They won't listen to this.
Shout out Tony B.
Tony B from Puerto Rico. I had some friends who actually just went there. But wow, this We Blowing It Up really got away from us. It's like 6 minutes.
It did a little bit.
But back to... we've had a few that have...
in my personal opinion, you will be
us.
much richer if you go out and experience things with people rather than clamor on to that last little couple $100 that you have.
Just make sure you can pay your bills.
No, fuck it.
Like the ones that allow you to live in a house. Like,
no. You get out there and you fucking experience some shit.
But not to the point of becoming homeless.
You're not going to
We're not promoting becoming homeless, are we?
My friend, my last festival I went to was Sasquatch. I barely made it home, and I wouldn't change a thing.
All right, but you came back to a home.
Barely.
With a roof over your head? That's all I'm saying, is just make sure you can still have a roof over your head at some point. I'm not saying more than that. Right?
I saved my last $25 for the gas ride home, and I made it. And it was amazing. And it's something I'll never forget.
All right, well, let's get back to talking to Andrew. I think we get into some movies and shit after this. It really goes off in some different tangents. Good stuff.
DC's better than Marvel.
And now we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah, well, a long break.
Yeah, Ricky, what did you had one that you were...
I was just going to ask him about his concerts.
Oh, I had that written down.
Yeah, I seen it was written down.
So I saw on Facebook you had a few.
As far as I know, I've been to the most amongst my friends, but he puts up competition.
It very well might be a pretty even competition. I don't know. It's got to be up in the couple hundreds for me.
See, he's way ahead of me because I only started going to only Seattle shows and.
Yeah, I remember you were doing that, and I kept getting pissed off because you never invited me. People don't invite me. Like, if they don't think I know the music, they won't invite me. I'm like, I don't know any music.
So you should be invited to all of them.
Yeah, and even when I told people, like, I've worked with, like,
That's
I'm
true.
going to concerts again. They're like, who's playing? I'm like, I don't remember. They're like, what? I'm like, well, I don't really care. Like, it's a concert. They're fun.
My big thing was going alone. Because if you have somebody with you, they might not be vibing the thing, and they might want to leave it a little early. They might get a little too drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to deal with them. But if you go alone, you're always gonna have a good time. You're gonna meet like-minded people there. You're gonna have.
I don't like to meet new people though.
Oh yeah. Well, that was me then.
One of the concerts that I went to when I was over in Asia was in Hong Kong, and I went alone, obviously. And that I went to just go hang out and enjoy the music, and ended up meeting about 12 different people from all around the world that were there for the same events. And now, next concert that artist plays, I have a bunch of people to communicate with, to go meet up with.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the better things about if you go alone, like Indian, especially like one of the longer foreign trips, like you said that you couldn't imagine going on. Like,
alone.
It forces going alone forces you to make the decision of whether you want to be social or not social. So, like, if
I've already been clear.
So
I want to be social. No, I like being social when I have someone that I know with me that I don't know.
Yeah,
the comfort level.
There's a comfort level, but there's also a thrill of not knowing something. So, like, you can go in blind and be surprised and come out, with nothing, or come out with a new best friend. Like, it's whatever you put into it.
Apparently getting shot in Malaysia.
Was
Malaysia? Is that what we're talking about?
Egypt. Way to stay on brand. But yeah, no, it's just, you have to, like, if you really want to meet new people, like, you have to force yourself to. And I think that's a good thing for a lot of people that kind of more or less stay in their own bubble. And I was a similar person too. Like, I would just constantly stay in my own bubble and not talk to people. And now I'm kind of getting more out of that.
And it's funny because I wouldn't want to travel with a group. I would just want one other person. Because if I'm going to the airport and shit, I'd actually rather be alone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I could see that,
But, like, one other person, like, that's enough to deal with and to, like, make decisions with. But, like, just having that one person is, like, the, like, comfort blanket. But, we already got back off concerts. What would you guys say each of your most memorable concerts is? Or your either memorable or, like, your, like, bucket list, like, this is one that I'll tell people about years from now and they'll all know who it is and be like, wow, you were there for that?
I would have
or
to
at least you saw that person.
I would have to say a couple years ago when I was in LA getting to see Nine Inch Nails and Soundgarden play at the Hollywood Bowl, or a big amphitheater just in
famous.
the
That's
hills.
awesome. Yeah, the Hollywood Bowl.
And
theater.
And I had seen Nine Inch Nails a couple times, and they're one of my favorite musical artists.
Okay.
And I had seen Chris Cornell as a part of Audio Slave like the day before I moved to college in 2005. But I hadn't seen him for like 9 years, and obviously hadn't seen Soundgarden live. So they opened up for Nine Inch Nails, and my dad flew down to go to that concert with me.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, my dad flew down to LA to go to a Nine Inch Nails concert with me. I think that's probably one of my favorite concert
awesome.
memories.
For me, shit, I don't know. I've never really seen anybody too
Huge.
Yeah.
You do. I mean, you know a lot of obscure bands that most people don't know about.
That's
like
true.
Bleachers. I'd never heard of Bleachers. We did. So before I started, God, it's like a year and a half, 2 years ago now at Northwest Farm Credit, we drove down to Portland and went and saw Bleachers, which I'd never heard of. So I was like, I looked it up stuff, and like the head guy was a bass player for what band?
He was in Fun, and he produces like Lord and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, he had like been on. He's helped with music with some very famous. Well, the other chick too. I don't remember. God damn it. But yeah, he had been like on a bunch of people's, and I thought their music was super fun. And it was in
It was a great
Portland. It was
show.
like the third floor.
The Crystal Ballroom.
Oh, that
The
show's
floor
awesome.
literally vibrates.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And then when he got up, because they had two openers, he's like, he literally named that as like one of his favorite places because of that reason.
Yeah.
Like literally the whole place is.
I saw in 2009, Cold War Kids opened up for Franz Ferdinand at that
damn.
venue.
That's awesome.
And I'll tell you what, like, I knew a little bit of Cold War Kids beforehand, but I went for Franz Ferdinand, and my God, like, yeah, you feel that whole 100-year-old building just wants to crumble.
It's wild.
It's definitely the only time I've seen anything on like a entertainment of like a performance on a third floor.
Yeah, it's not normal.
And we left during the second act because you could come back in to go get my phone charger. And we were sitting on the sidewalk, and I look over, and the fucking lead singer is just walking by. I'm like, you fucking serious right now?
And I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Like, I had seen a couple music videos, but not enough to be like recognize him on the street.
Yeah.
And then Ricky just stops. And it's always funny. Like, you almost expect them always to be tall for some reason. Famous
Yeah.
people. No,
So-
he's Ricky's height. And
Yeah.
they took a picture together, and I was like, oh, wait, that was the guy.
Yeah.
Like, it happened so fast that at first I was like, why is Ricky talking to this dude? Like, what is happening?
That was a good one, yeah. For
Pretty
sure.
awesome. He had a weird, like, thing, too, where they had a trailer that you could, like, pay extra, and you could, like, go in, and it was, like, set up as his bedroom, where he,
Okay.
like, wrote everything.
Well, that's
pretty much.
kind of cool. Kind of creepy,
It-
but
it
also
was
kind
an-
of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting, like, kink to the
was a
tour or
good
whatever.
gimmick, yeah.
Yeah.
See, the only person I've seen that's passed away since is Mac Miller, I think.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool in Seattle. It
See,
was at-
I don't know enough of his music. I just know like him as a celebrity. I
didn't even know he
yeah.
passed
his music
away.
was really good, and he seemed like a cool guy. Just got a little too into the drug scene.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them do.
It was at Bumper Shoot, and I seen Yellow Wolf right before Yellow Wolf was in the like the main courtyard, so it was just like in a field. and,
Okay.
like, nobody really knew. And then you go inside, and it was him and Big Sean. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, it's kind of sad a little bit in that, like, Bohemian Rhapsody just came out, and that crescendoed with, Queen at Live Aid.
Yeah.
You don't have these big. We have music festivals, like you mentioned, Bumper Shoot, and there's Watershed.
Sasquatch is my all-time favorite.
Sasquatch.
Rest in peace.
That's the
It
R.I.P.
was so much
Total.
fun.
Yeah.
But, like, you definitely don't. We don't, in our lifetimes, have, like, oh my God, dude, were you there for this person at this specific concert? Not
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
did you see this guy live at some point?
It's not. It'll never be Woodstock again.
Yeah,
It'll never
Woodstock,
be.
Live
that.
Speaking of,
Aid,
there-
like these huge events that are one-time events.
Yeah.
There's Woodstock this year.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it'll never be like.
The funny thing is,
Yeah.
if you watch a documentary on Woodstock, which I haven't watched, but I've seen like bits of things, that was a fucking shit show.
Oh,
Oh,
what
God,
about
yeah.
Woodstock 99?
Oh yeah.
Well,
the new
original
metal?
one, there was
Limp
cars-
Bizkit at Woodstock. That says it all.
No, but I mean the original one, cars got stuck on the highway to Woodstock for like 4 days.
Yeah, people just abandon them.
You had to abandon them. You were camping in the mud.
Yeah.
Like, people would not, like, I think they showed bits of it when one of the fire festival things, and they were like, it was one of those things that was like, there was no way to plan Woodstock. You couldn't have planned out how it went.
No.
Like, you planned the band, they had the stage and the bands.
That's
but
it.
everything else, how people camped, people doing drugs, like the atmosphere, all that stuff, like, you can't create it like
Yeah,
they try to do with Fire Festival.
Yeah. Then they didn't have a marketing firm or a PR firm to handle the disaster for
I guess
you know.
Sasquatch is the closest because they embrace the like, look, this is a very drug friendly. Like, we know you're going to come here and do drugs, so we are going to be prepared for it. We know you're going to be camping.
It's
like, and they have tons of medical people. I've heard
It's like summer one. What's the summer one?
What's
The
what?
EDM one?
Oh, Paradiso.
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 Yeah, that's definitely a just be careful kind of
See,
concert.
and I would love
Yeah.
to go to one of those. I wouldn't do as hardcore to drugs as like other people, but that's like a type of place where I would like to try Molly. Like somewhere like you feel safe. Like, I know I don't have to drive anywhere. I know there's somewhere I can walk and sleep.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of like.
There's going to be something going on at all times of the day, so you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about
And
that.
it's you consider. I mean, I feel like it's got to be pretty safe because everyone's basically just doing the same thing. They're all there for the same reason.
So,
Pretty much.
like Paradiso, having been to a couple drug-fueled Paradisos, I can tell you that there are other like EDM concerts that have better atmospheres because like Paradiso gets a lot of the broy, like douchey
Oh, yeah.
dudes
Oh,
now.
I don't want that.
Like,
about,
it used to not be that way, and it was a lot funner because of that. Like
Meltdown?
now, like what?
Meltdown?
Meltdown is getting kind of that way too, a little bit. But like, if you go for like a more niche artist, like the guys I saw in Hong Kong, they're called Above and Beyond. They do more like trancey kind of dance music or whatever. They have their own little like subset of fans who all treat each other relatively nicer than the broy douchey guys. So like like the people that I met in Hong Kong, that they call themselves like the family kind of deal because everybody just they like the music and they treat each other with respect. Whereas they can't say that about every other festival. So
Have you-
go ahead.
Have you heard of Shambhala up in BC?
Yeah, I have
What-
a couple friends that go to that every year.
I have a friend that swears by that.
Yeah.
He just said it was the most awesome time.
But yeah, Matt, if you want to go to one of the concerts out of the gorge, The guys I saw in Hong Kong that put on an awesome show, they're playing in July, at the end of July, out of the Gorge. So if you guys wanted to...
fun. I've only gone to the Gorge once now.
If you guys wanted to experience
Fucking
something
love the
cool.
Gorge. Yeah, the Gorge is so
That
fun.
was awesome. I could not believe that. I was like, it looks fake.
I try to go to the Gorge at least once a year, just because it's fucking awesome.
That's how I was, too.
Oh,
definite-
Paradiso's at the Gorge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was at the Gorge.
Yep. And, that's...
So that's June, middle of June.
Yeah,
Paradiso.
and
Those are
then
the
above
camping passes.
and beyond is July 25th and 26th. That would be the better one to go to if you want less douchebags that kind of hover around you.
Get the experience.
Yeah, get a more crowd friendly experience.
I definitely would like to go. Yeah, it's one of those things.
But then,
Before I'm so old that it's just sad.
then also
Which I might be at that point. Are we at that point?
we're getting close.
No, I think
mentality-wise.
early to mid 30s is still
might have
like
to
it's
wait
like
a couple
late
years.
20s now. Like everything's pushing back.
Yeah,
as we
and-
get older. Luckily, we're lucky that we don't live in the age where like at 45 you're old and like should be retiring.
Or like the Middle Ages where if you made it to 20, you were doing good. Yeah.
Well, shit. The
Or like
beginning of
Tupac.
the beginning of
RIP,
our
yeah.
country, you realize that all the guys who signed the Declaration of Independence were 35 and under.
Yeah. No life
Thomas Jefferson
expectancy.
was
Yeah.
a huge pedophile.
He was not. He just hooked up with his slave women. He has a lot of black kids. I have never
She
heard
was
of
like
him being a
13.
pedophile, and I will not.
She was like 13.
What do you mean
I
she?
researched
There's a
it.
ton of them. He's hooked up with so many of his slaves.
Wow.
Yeah, but I researched it because somebody pointed it out. So I was like,
In
okay,
his
I'm going to look this
defense,
up.
he inherited all his slaves. He never accumulated more.
Okay.
In his defense, he was banging
This-
13-year-olds.
This is 200 years ago. They're still marrying. They're still marrying 13-year-olds in India right now. So I mean, like,
Yeah, get off. Tom. I don't know why. I'm not even joking. I did a
Why are you so pro-Jefferson?
I did a report on Jefferson in like 4th grade, and I swear to God, I've been biased about him ever since.
It's like
callback. Yep.
Yeah, that's being pro-Mike after the documentary that just came out.
I won't watch it. My friend Mary, huge Michael Jackson fan. We
Oh, me
listen
too.
to
Me and
music
Matt.
and watch videos.
That's the reason why I signed up for HBO Now.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, I want to watch that," because I mentioned it. I was like, "Don't watch it." She's like, "I want to watch it." I was like,
Nah.
Bro,
it's-
shouldn't
I was like, "You like Michael Jackson, though?" I was like, "It's not good. It's
It's
the
a tough sell.
entire thing is anti-Michael Jackson, like, right?" From what I've heard.
That's like being pro-Trump and watching like CNN. It's like, it just doesn't make
stick
sense.
with Fox and Friends.
It doesn't make sense.
Stick with
pretty-
YouTube music
Pretty
videos.
much the guy's like, yeah, we had sex here, we had sex here, we had sex here, we had sex here, and by the way, I was 12.
By the way, he had a glitter on his dick.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like,
yeah.
I can
Macaulay
describe it for
Culkin
you.
has not defended him, but he's been like, nothing inappropriate about our relationship.
Culkin's
Weird that it was an old guy.
Culkin's
and
a cool guy now.
Yeah, he's got hit a weird band that did like some spoof types, or almost like comedy songs.
Really?
Now he's got his own podcast. He's just been living in London.
Oh, good for
So
him.
nobody knows about him.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably best for him.
He
Like,
was on, actually,
Yeah.
if you listen to podcasts, which if you're listening to this,
I mean,
You're probably listening to podcasts.
by definition,
Joe
you
Rogan,
listen to podcasts. He was on Mark Maron. Listen
Mark
to that
Maron.
one.
Oh, yeah.
really.
So that episode of Mark Maron, it was awesome. I liked it, and I haven't listened to a lot of his. But, yeah, Culkin,
Seems
I don't
like a cool guy.
he's come out okay. He was one of those that emancipated from his parents. He realized at a very young age that he was getting fucked over.
Child stars are like
Him and Drew
easily-
Barrymore.
Yeah.
I think they're the only ones that like went hardcore into drugs and came back out of it. Okay.
RDJ.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it took
RDJ.
him a long time.
God,
Yeah.
can't forget Iron Man. Like
Why do I still not know his full name? We keep calling him RDJ, and I keep Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
God, I keep blanking on it.
Just
Every
call
time
him Tony Stark. He's never going to be known as anything else than Tony Stark
That's a good
ever
point.
again.
Yeah, every time someone says RDJ, I know exactly what they're talking about,
it's-
but it makes me forget his actual name.
It's like Captain America will never no longer be associated with Chris Evans. Like he's literally Captain.
He's always my Human Torch.
Yeah.
Were you
Well,
the one you want them all
goddamn.
to die, right? Were you-
The big three should die
Yeah.
if you're going to reboot or redo the next stage of the series. And
I think 2 out of 3.
big three got to die.
I think we got to comment back to that. So our Fairweather Friends Instagram account, which everybody should subscribe to, only because we tell
Follow.
you we really need to post more.
Follow for a follow.
All we do really is post when we have we post when we have new episodes, and Ricky randomly says we're a pro Thanos podcast.
Pro
Team
Thanos.
Team
Pro
Thanos.
Dust.
I'm not quite strong enough to go against it, but I'm like, I don't know.
I went to the website and I survived the snap.
Well,
so I'm very pro Team Thanos.
I'm just saying, like, you look at, what goes on in, life. Like, yeah, maybe we could afford to lose half of them.
But some chick who, what does she list herself as? Like a actress, singer, comedian, occasional clown, and has her own podcast. She messaged us asking if we're into Marvel and something else, and what's his drag show? Her RuPaul's drag show. So 2 out of 3. We
2 out of 3.
So we gotta come back. Maybe she wants us to come on her show. I don't know.
Should we start branching out?
I know there's a couple of Facebook pages that are specifically for like guesting or getting guests to be on your podcast.
I would believe it.
So we've thought about that because it would be one of the best ways to network podcasts, what I've heard, is literally get people on who then you can poach their people who like
listeners.
Them. Yeah. Which with our friends has not worked at all. Nobody gives a shit when they're like, oh, Kyle Hooker's on the Fairly Friend podcast. I'll listen to that. Nah.
The only one we had a chance with was Blair and his X-Wing following.
He didn't even try. We don't really put a lot of pressure on people to promote it. Sometimes they'll share it at least when I post, but that's about it. Yeah, so we're not making money on this anytime soon.
Okay, back to the situation at hand. How do you think Endgame is going to end?
Oh, okay, so Marvel, I was like, I'm pretty sure you're a big movie buff guy, right?
I'm a huge comic nerd. Obviously, I'm wearing an X-Men t-shirt.
Wait.
How's it going to end?
So Umbrella Academy was a Dark Phoenix story.
Yes.
They've done 3 Dark Phoenix stories in the Marvel Universe. Do you think that it was better than them, or do you think it was...
Wait, the Umbrella Academy is a Dark Phoenix story?
It's basically inspired by the Dark Phoenix story.
Oh, I had no idea. Makes sense. I was like, it's a very X-Men-ish show.
Like, beat for beat, it's really similar.
I only made it an episode and a half in.
So I'll say that the Umbrella Academy is automatically better than the shit show that was X-Men 3 because I watched that in premiere night when I was living in college downtown, and I still haven't watched that movie again because I was so pissed off that they ruined my favorite character and storyline. So automatically Umbrella Academy is better than that.
Which character and storyline did they ruin?
Phoenix. The whole Dark Phoenix storyline.
Well, and they're continuing it.
Well...
It's a reboot.
This is a reboot / ending for the Fox universe of X-Men movies. So hopefully it does better.
I actually like Days of Future Past and First Class.
I like them.
Yeah, those are good movies.
What's his name who plays Dr. X? He's really good.
James McAvoy?
Yeah, McAvoy.
You're not going to get a better Magneto than Fassbender.
Fassbender.
Yeah,
well, Fassbender
really
and Ian McKellen are Magnetos. I don't care if they're 2 separate people. They are the visual representation of younger and older Magneto.
Sure.
Perfect.
Young, he's all in shape and a few inches taller for sure, and then he gets old and he kind of shrinking in.
After First
But
Class,
McKellen's so great.
They should have had Michael Fassbender as a Magneto James Bond just going and hunting Nazis. I would have been into that movie from the get-go.
Yeah, Magneto solo.
Yeah.
I'm tired of watching people fight Nazis, though. It's always Nazis.
Well, I know. It's
but I mean, with their history and story, it has to be.
And with our generation, it's the easy callback. It's the one pure evil that you could actually point to.
So when do we get the superhero movies where we're fighting ISIS?
Communism?
About 20 years from now.
It's got a while.
The Lone Soldier.
It's going to be tough since we beat them, but the Lone Soldier, that's true. Fucking Mark Wahlberg.
Good God.
But so Endgame, I don't know.
Well, how do you want it to end?
So just like with Game of Thrones, I've been I kind of just want to experience it. So I haven't thought about it a ton.
Yeah, I've avoided spoilers as much as I can.
But you can only avoid so much. So Ant-Man, obviously, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, they have the post-credit scene. Ant-Man goes into the
Quantum Realm.
Quantum Realm.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, the people who controlled it, who were supposed to pull him back out,
gone.
This whole half the people die. I'm pretty sure 3/4 of the superheroes died. I haven't done the math, but it feels like almost all very few survived
it's
that.
Every living creature in the universe.
Yeah, they got the raw end of that deal as superheroes.
Yes. But you think about all the insects or all the dogs or all the monkeys, that's just on Earth.
I
that's not
thought
even
about that. I thought it was just killing the human population.
No, it's anything that would soak up resources, he was adamant about trying to wipe out to prolong life as long as possible.
But it destroyed the gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
So he warped himself out back to his home planet, or to some planet. I don't even know. I think it was his home planet.
The garden. Because his home planet was the one that was destroyed. Yeah.
So he warped himself out of there to somewhere, but so that people assume like somehow in the quantum realm he's going to go back in time, right?
That they are. The Avengers are.
I
More
heard
than likely.
I heard a podcast where he talked about, and I don't like people to dig too deep. Or I don't want to dig too deep, but I already heard this, so I can't unhear it. Ant-Man's daughter in the comics eventually becomes a superhero, and she's like in a wheelchair for some reason, I think. But apparently his daughter is cast in this movie.
Supposedly.
So they're thinking that there's some future travel as well. And she comes back to the past and helps.
I think this movie is gonna totally like redo the timeline from the previous 21 movies. I think everything is gonna be changed afterward.
That's why I hate time travel.
Yeah.
Did you watch the last Terminator movie with the chick who plays Daenerys? Emilia Clarke.
It was horrible.
I was like, wait, so they just went back in time and just redid it? It's basically what happened.
It was lit. I watched it premiere night in Chicago that summer that I was there on a work contract, and I walked out of that like I wanted to like it.
I did too. She's a good
awesome.
actress, and I think she's. No offense to her looks. I don't think she's attractive as most people act like she is.
She's hotter.
She's obviously very attractive.
I think she looks better when she's in Daenerys getup than she is when she's Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, Ricky didn't like her when he saw the red red carpet photos. She's got like black hair right now or something.
Well, I think that's her real color.
Of the newest season?
Yeah.
None of the girls look attractive at all.
Well, and like
they're all done up hardcore.
Well, her in the Han Solo movie, like it just
she was badass in that.
She was badass, but like I just like her. I like her look better as Daenerys than.
And then spoilers, she turned out to be a turncoat bitch. But
hey, Darth Maul is a hell of an influencer. Yeah.
So was that supposed to be actually Darth Maul or just another?
Oh, it's Darth Maul because he lived after Episode 1.
Isn't it based on like the cartoon or something?
He didn't live after
cartoon
Episode
mythology?
1.
Watch the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, that's what it is.
He features prominently in a couple different seasons of the Clone Wars.
I have watched it and I don't pay close attention. Yeah. They cut him in half in Episode 1.
He's got robot legs at the end in Clone Wars.
Oh, I think I just didn't realize that was supposed to be Darth Maul
so there's
and not
two.
Just somebody else from that planet.
So in the Clone Wars cartoon, there are two. It's him and his brother. Maul and Savage or whatever his name is.
I remember Savage because he played a more prominent role.
Maul,
I guess I didn't realize that the robot-legged one was supposed to be Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Usually it's on in the background. I'm playing on my phone. I might be high.
Yeah.
You never know.
Maybe not. But yeah, no, Maul is still alive, and he could theoretically be alive for Episode 9 in December. Like,
that would be great.
That would be pretty awesome.
Call back, bring it back. I would. You want to make
as long as they bring back Jar Jar too. No,
I love Jar Jar.
Have
the
him
most hated character in the entire Star Wars universe is Jar Jar Binks.
Have him cut Jar Jar in half, and Jar Jar come back as the villain in Episode 12.
Why don't they cut Jar Jar in half and give Darth Maul Jar Jar's legs? Just get rid of the top half of Jar Jar.
It'll look like a Mr. Potato Head version in Star Wars. Just random collected pieces from.
Jar Jar, no.
They're slowing down because they realized they oversaturated the market when they brought it back.
They absolutely did.
What about the time travel at the end of Deadpool 2? I just watched this yesterday.
Oh,
and that was pretty fucking funny.
Me. I don't remember.
Cable time travels, and then Deadpool at the end of it gets the Negasonic teenage warhead girl and her little lesbian friend to make fix the portal or whatever, the time traveling machine, or forget what they call it, the body slider, whatever. I don't know what.
I forgot what they call it.
But anyway, he goes back in time for the post credit scenes and goes fucks with Wolverine and goes and fucks with a whole bunch of other things.
It's so funny,
and it's blatantly like the footage from X-Men Origins 2009.
I never took that seriously because it was in the credit thing. I didn't really take it as like a real storyline.
Then they just edited Deadpool into it.
Yeah, and just shooting him in the head.
Yeah, and shoot himself in the head. And
I think you're talking about like a real movie thing.
Sorry about that.
I didn't take that
Love
seriously. I didn't take that as like, oh wait, shit, now the storyline changes.
But yeah, no, Deadpool
He kills himself.
Yeah,
Saved
Because
Peter.
from the X-Men one.
yeah.
Huh?
Deadpool totally.
Saved Peter.
Yeah.
I feel
Little
like
fire
we should
starter.
we should do a podcast where we watch comedies high and then review them,
I'm for it.
or
He can be our
comedies
first
/
guest.
superhero movies. Like those are the most rewatchable movies to me.
Oh yeah.
Comedy movies are by far.
Comedy or action superhero, like okay, like you
Well,
can't
especially action superhero. Like Marvel has done a good job of making sure there's enough comedy throughout
make it
that makes it a
entertaining.
lot more rewatchable.
It's not Justice League
yeah.
or Batman versus Superman.
Well, speaking of Justice League, I watched that yesterday.
Oh god,
would you just sit around watching movies all day yesterday?
Yeah.
That's a great day. That's such a great day.
great Monday.
I've done that where I went to the
Great
movies.
Tuesday.
I watched
Yeah.
Passengers. I watched something else that I hadn't seen in a while.
Okay.
I watched The Girl on the Train.
Did Justice League feel like it was two separate movies mishmashed into one?
I'm a Batman apologist. I like it better than I liked Avengers.
He does. He does defend DC quite a bit, mostly because of Batman.
You get to see fucking Batman in action, dude. There's nothing better than that.
Ben Affleck is just not a good Batman.
Yes,
though.
he is. He's so good.
There's like nothing good about it.
Okay, now we're on DC. What do you think about the Joker movie?
I love it. The
With
Joker's my all-time favorite
Joaquin
character.
Phoenix as the 1980s Joker.
I think it's going to be either very, very good or
I think they're going to do the Batman, no, what is it, Dark Knight Returns? Where Joker plays everybody, says he's reformed, goes on the game show, murders everybody on the game show.
that'd be a good story to have. That or the Killing Joke, where he
The whole one bad day vibe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Still on Batman. Have you been following what goes on in the comics with Batman lately? Like, there's a Batman who laughs.
I've seen that.
The
Yeah.
multiverse version of Batman, who's also the Joker.
He's fucking creepy looking.
It's real. It looks like a bondage version of like some 1970s like porn. It's really kind of creepy, but also like it's actually really well written. So I was like, okay, like I haven't bought a DC comic in like 20 years, and then I bought that. I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool.
I love their animated movies.
No, yeah, they do some.
They do some pretty
ones.
good. Like the Killing Joke animated was good. Dark Knight Returns, and then part 1 and 2.
Yeah. And I never saw Shazam. What, did you guys see
Oh,
it?
Shazam
We
was
did. We had
excellent.
a 20-minute video where we recapped it, our reactions to it. That video.
I like that it takes place in their universe, so like they can have a Batarang here, they can talk about Wonder Woman, and then they can have Superman.
That's true. They made it clear. So like the one kid who's like the superhero nerd, he's got a Batarang. So they made sure it's like clear that those. Well, I mean, I guess they don't make it clear if he exists like in real life.
Well, they have all the newspaper headlines.
But it
and
sounded like
he's got
yeah,
a bullet,
it's a replica Batarang. So it's like if it's a replica, it's got to be a replica of a real one. So you
but he's
assume-
got a legit bullet.
Well, and Superman
that-
shows up in the
Spoiler alert.
it's like he doesn't show up and do anything. It was basically like a post-credit scene, but they did it.
Was it actually Superman, or is it actually just like?
Is
Well, they don't
somebody-
even show his
no,
face.
it
Okay,
pans,
yeah.
It shows the S and then it cuts out.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
He
you go.
walks
Yeah.
forward. You can see from neck down.
They didn't have to edit out Henry
Mustache.
Cavill's mustache.
But then the end credits are a blatant ripoff of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, really?
How it's just the animation with the Ramon song.
Yeah,
Animation with the Ramon song.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an entertaining movie. DC. I feel like they keep trying to replicate Marvel, and then it's like, but they can't ever do a balance. It's like it's either super depressing or just outright trying to be funny.
The only one,
Which it was mostly funny,
It was pretty good.
but it's like
It was a good mix.
the only one I really would say that I actually liked would be Wonder Woman. But even then, I can say that that's not the greatest movie. That's just Gal Gadot being fucking awesome.
yeah. I mean, Wonder Woman's a great
I didn't
character.
really, yeah.
She's a great character. I felt like they made the movie too much about Chris
Pine.
Pine. Like, it almost seemed like
Steve
he was
Scho-
the
Well, they bring
main
him up.
character once he showed up.
They bring him up in Justice League.
Oh, that's
he's like
right,
dead,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because
Supposedly.
she's talking about Batman and how he shouldn't do things, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like Steve Trevor," and then she just gets like super pissed
Clams
off.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She fell in love with him for no reason at all.
Fell in love with a mere mortal. Except, he's Captain Kirk.
But it did feel like he became I felt like once he showed up, he became the main character, and it became more about him than her. And she was just there to fight, and everything else was about him.
There's a fan theory going on that he's actually Martian Manhunter. Which would be
Really?
pretty cool.
That could be interesting.
I don't remember how he died in the movie. So yeah, is it one of those where like he could maybe not be dead?
What? Okay, yeah.
I mean, shit. The Winter Soldier was supposed to survive for 70 years.
How many times has Loki died and come back? No more resurrections.
That's why
this
it
time.
was so great when Thanos is like he almost like might as well have looked right at the camera and broke the fourth wall like. He's really dead this time. Like he might as well have just said that.
But
he's
probably just gonna pop up in the stinger for Endgame.
Wasn't he gonna get a TV show?
He's got his own TV show.
Yeah, Disney Plus is gonna have him do his own TV show, but it's gonna be him being Loki like through human history.
Because who is the guy from S.H.I.E.L.D. from Avengers who died in Avengers and then he was on
Clark Gregg?
Colson, yeah.
Who got his own TV show and was like, oh yeah, so it turns out he wasn't really dead.
So that happens like after the Avengers. All the Loki stuff is going to be prequel, like him fucking with human society, like through the history of humans. So it's just going to be him on Earth, like maybe like fucking up like Julius Caesar and like the Roman times, or like being like an Egyptian pharaoh. Like I'm for Tom Hiddleston doing that in a whole like fuck up history.
Hiddleston's great. He was a 007 person that people thought should be 007.
Him and Hemsworth are both.
Alba. People are like, hey, let's have a black one. There was female, I think, British actress who they were somewhat. I don't know. I've heard. Not that they were like actually.
It's Colin Firth, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh,
I'd go with him.
Yeah, he's quite a bit older.
He's older
than
but
usually 007 is, but yeah, he'd be fun.
He would have been a really good one maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
Who was the dude from Miss Doubtfire who was 007?
Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan. He was probably the most unathletic 007,
Daniel Craig
right?
has been excellent, though.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's awesome, but
he's bailing.
What about
he didn't like it?
He's done. Yeah,
he did
Clive Owen?
Is he
British?
Clive Owen is definitely British.
I haven't seen him in anything for a while.
Wait, wasn't he the bad guy in one of them?
No.
Clive Owen is awesome.
Clive Owen, he's done a couple movies. Then he did that Showtime TV Stars TV show, The Nick.
Oh.
With Steven Soderbergh for 2 seasons about a New York hospital in like 1901 or whatever. He's like a surgeon just fucking up all these people.
Oh, The Nick. Yeah, that comes up pretty quick on his thing.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite ones he's done.
His movie Shoot 'Em Up was so good.
That was really good. Children of Men was awesome.
Children of Men is an all-timer. That's Colin Rhodes' favorite movie. Rhodes is a big cinemaphile.
That Children of Men is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's got such a good flow to it. Like that one long shot where it's a motorcycle chase and it's all one long camera shot. It's fucking gold. Like it's cinematography gold right there.
I'm a big fan of movies, but I like the movie theater experience. I don't watch them at home as much as like I would think I would.
Do you think that they should make another Mad Max?
I would watch it. Like
me too, though.
I honestly didn't finish the last one.
You didn't watch Fury Road?
I thought it was boring.
Movie was so good.
I was like, wait, this is just the same type of shit. They're just going to drive cars and fight.
The one thing I could say about it is walking out of that theater after watching it, I felt like I was in a car crash. It's like walking out of Saving Private Ryan and you feel like you just got back from Normandy. It's like, my God, like I'm exhausted from watching this movie.
I can see it probably would have been a great movie theater experience.
Yeah.
But I feel like at home I was like...
It's not the greatest.
I'm just kind of bored.
Unless it's just in the background and you're just keying into it every once in a while.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. You got to be invested into it.
I like the older ones better. Man, you can't beat Thunderdome.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard that statement.
Fury Road was amazing.
Well, because it was...
They even made a Rick and Morty episode about it.
God bless Rick and Morty. I'm just saying. Like, the heroes we need in a time of,
Oh, God. If only they could figure their shit out, get it out of the
Beyond Thunderdome, sorry. Beyond Thunderdome.
There we go.
But because it's got friggin' Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Dude, Charlize Theron.
And
kicked
she was
some
good.
Fucking ass in that movie.
Yeah, one-armed.
Sure she did, but it's just like, I don't know. I guess it was... I feel like there was even no story. Really?
Well, I mean, it really was.
Story.
I mean...
She had the illusion that she could bring these brides to the Promised Land. Promised Land didn't really exist. It was just a myth.
Of course not.
And all those post-apocalyptic
and then
movies.
what does everybody do at that point? Oh, fuck it. Let's go survive.
Well, they waste so much gas to try to get more gas.
Well, and where are they at? Like Australia? Like
I'm not. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
really.
I think they filmed it literally there, but like You got to drive like 3,000 miles to get to the nearest gas station. Like,
Well, and every time they attack somebody for gas, they bring out everybody, and they're using like 40
Ammo
cars.
Town and-
Like, they have to have used as much gas as they're getting.
we're gonna go get 4 tanks of gas. We're gonna use 80 to get it.
Isn't that the same thing in Waterworld?
fucking guy
Yeah.
was so cool, though. The main bad guy,
Oh,
In Fury Road?
something Joe.
fat
All right. Maybe you guys talk to me. I'll give it
Yeah.
another try. You guys talk me into it.
yeah, it's worth it. I mean, get stoned or get drunk and
Oh,
fucking watch it.
We'll watch
yeah.
it on the projector later if you want.
That'd be fun. I won't lie. There's been a lot of things that I've watched and gotten bored of. Not been like, fuck this, but like just kind of gotten bored. And that's
Yeah.
kind of Fury Road. And then I've rewatched it and been good. Like Parks and Rec and Breaking Bad. Both of them I got kind of
fucking love
bored in like
Breaking
the
Bad.
second season.
Breaking Bad movie?
Oh,
Excited?
I'm for it.
Yeah?
You got to get through second season of Breaking Bad.
No, I've
Like,
gotten through now. So
okay.
like, the first time I watched it, I got
Okay.
into like the second season. I think it was in the second season. Maybe it was near the end of the first, and I got kind of bored and
The
just
first-
forgot about it. And then I rewatched it.
It
all the way
gets so
through.
much better.
The first rumor I heard is that it picks off directly with Jesse leaving.
I hope
and
so.
I'm all for that.
Any
yeah.
Jesse Pinkman
Oh, fuck
story,
yeah.
I am for. Yeah.
The story starts out, you're like, oh, well, it's not that bad a guy. And then you're like, oh, fuck, well, Jesse, you got to get out of here. Jesse, come on.
Run, bitch! Run!
So what's his face? He's got to be white. He's got to be alive, right? Didn't really die at the end.
No,
They don't make it clear. They keep it vague enough to be like he should be dead, but he could have survived
He
that.
might show up in the movie
Walter
in
White.
like flashbacks, but I think Walter's dead.
Oh.
I think it's too good of an ending to bring him back.
The
Because-
kid who plays Jesse Pinkman, they tried giving him like a chance at like,
Need for Speed.
yeah, I watched Need for Speed in theaters. It was pretty bad,
That's not worth $20.
but he's really good on BoJack Horseman. He's a voice, and that character is hilarious.
it's a pretty big disparity between those two. That's a
So
a giant
not
leap.
blockbuster leading man.
Yep.
Turns out he's a TV show guy and a pretty funny voice.
I never
got a
watched
great
his
voice.
TV show, the other one that he did for a couple years. I
didn't
can't
either.
remember what it was called, obviously, but
I don't even know his real name.
Aaron something.
Aaron
Sorkin? No,
Paul.
Sorkin.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. Aaron Sorkin is
Aaron
totally
Sorkin is
different,
fucking
dude.
Awesome.
He's the creator of
I would-
90210, right?
No, he's
No, he's a writer. He's
Yeah.
the dude that wrote The West Wing.
The West Wing I would never
and,
watch.
And oh fuck, The Social Network.
The Path.
Social Network,
The
which
Path
is-
was the
That's-
other Aaron Paul
That's
show.
the show that I didn't watch.
Oh, he showed up in Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
I can say I didn't see that movie.
Nope, didn't make it for that one. I go to the theaters quite a bit. I did a lot when I was unemployed, and then now I've been doing it a little more again because my schedule is I literally work 7 days out of every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I love going on like a Tuesday at 1 in the afternoon.
That's the time to go.
So many old people.
Uh,
And they bring their own snacks and they crinkle the motherfuckers.
Thoughts on the new Hellboy?
I wish they would have did a third one.
I fucking love
Ron Perlman.
but
Well, in this one, so I didn't realize this one is the guy from
this one's hard R.
from
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It looks like they might actually do the series better. with
I never
this movie.
realized that Selma Blair's she has MS,
Yeah,
and it's pretty bad.
yeah, it's
Is
getting,
it?
I never
Already?
realized how bad it was.
it's getting
Like,
worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a disease.
That's
that-
sad. She's not that old yet.
No, she was a good actress too. She's
And
really,
they say with
really
a good
watchable.
diet and stuff that a lot of the symptoms will hold off for a
for a
long
while,
time.
but yeah, once it starts to go, it goes.
I heard not that long ago they had a drug that was having really good results, but it's United States takes so long to like let people start using a drug.
Yeah, the amount of people that are going to die from not having access to it is
Well, and
yeah.
that was one of the good things Trump actually did was he passed something where like basically if you're terminal, you can start taking drugs that have not been approved.
Yeah.
They'll start letting you, but MS is not a terminal.
No.
It's you're
Seth
gonna
Rogen
live.
does a lot of work for it.
Does he?
Yeah,
Does he have it?
his mom does.
His mom.
Yeah, it's usually somebody that is close to
I feel like
him.
it's.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it may be completely wrong, but at least from the people that I've heard, it's mostly women.
I think so. I mean, I think predominantly it's a female disease, but
So
yeah.
This podcast turned.
It really went down. It went down really quick. I'm just
It's sad.
Bring it back,
I,
bring it
I
back,
saw
bring it
something
back.
recently though, because somebody, God, I don't remember if it was a famous person or not, was doing some walk for it. So it's always good. I think Tosh has a lot of jokes about not wanting to walk for shit.
The new Hellboy looks pretty awesome.
I think the effects.
They made sure that the fucking bad guys are bigger and badder than.
And they made it known there's swearing, there's
gonna be blood,
gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
We're definitely taking a turn toward that after the first two Deadpools were as popular as they were.
Yeah.
Logan was fucking masterpiece.
Logan was awesome.
And it's barely a superhero movie, which is kind of what I love about it.
Which is the best thing about it, I think.
You got that British dude who's like the one who like can't go outside or something, or he's like psychic. I don't remember what he is.
I know.
Caliban.
That dude's hilarious.
He's the little tracker.
Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
He's actually a pretty prominent director, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think he was on one of the podcasts I listened to recently, and yeah, he does a lot of small roles and stuff, and he's always hilarious when he does. And then I think he does a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
We talk about leaving, Saving Private Ryan and feeling like you got out of Normandy. Leaving Logan felt like I was just like, oh my god, like yeah, I literally felt like I died and had come back to life like 4 times. Like it was so brutal.
Dude, that dude Steve Merchant, he's predominantly a writer, but like The Office, a bunch of shows.
It's weird how like you look at somebody's like prior career and you wouldn't think that would translate into something else, but like you look at the Russo brothers, like they were on Arrested Development and doing a bunch of like writing and directing for Arrested Development, and then they make a fucking awesome Captain America movie, and all of a sudden now they're like the go-to director for superhero movies.
Well, I think directors,
like,
it's funny,
yeah.
they have one good one, and all of a sudden they get to make like 3 shitty ones. Oh yeah,
Edgar
Baby
Wright.
Driver? That was great.
Baby Driver was fucking amazing. I love that movie.
You know, one of the co-creators of The Office is the guy who plays Mose.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
He was super young, right?
Huh.
It's just like Always Sunny.
And he hated playing Mose. Apparently, they like basically made him.
Yeah.
Cricket's
He was a writer,
He's
right?
a producer, yeah.
Oh, he's a producer?
David Hornsby.
Yeah, I knew he was a writer or something on the show first, and then they were like, it's one of those things where like they'll like be like, hey, I got this character in mind, and they'll basically be like, this is what I envision, and they'll do it. And then every once in a while, the people are like, well, you have to do it. Like, you're right. Like, you have it. Like, you know better than anybody, and you can pull it off.
Do you guys watch Archer?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so Adam Reed is the writer and showrunner and director. He's the one that plays Ray.
I mean, at least that
So-
he just gets to be a voice.
But I mean, like he's the guy that is constantly being
He gets made fun of
disabled,
so much.
injured, made fun of for being gay.
Okay,
like
he's got robot legs, too.
So he put himself into that role. So that shows like he could be made fun of because he puts himself in the role of like the lowest person on the totem pole.
That show's cast
Oh,
is so good.
it's my favorite show. By
Well, the
far.
thing with
Yeah.
Mose, too, is one of the reasons he hated playing him was because the first season that he did it, he actually grew out the beard and did it. And he was like, I don't want to keep this beard. And so finally they let him shave it and use a fake beard for future seasons. He's like, you guys, I cannot live and walk around with this beard, which I don't understand.
Yeah, H. John Benjamin, man.
He's
That guy has the fucking golden
he's
voice.
my
Now he does the
spirit
Arby's
animal.
commercials?
Yeah.
The only
We have
place,
the meat.
the only place low enough to show H.
For
John
sandwiches.
Benjamin's face.
We got the meats for sandwiches.
He's the voice of the can in American Wet Hot American Summer.
If you look at H. Sean Benjamin's IMDb page, my God, it's like H. Sean Benjamin has a van, and then there's like everything else, and it's like, wow, this dude is.
His voice is so good.
You know,
Fucking
it's-
Bob's Burgers is so good.
He's my spirit animal, like totally.
That's not fair. Like, he didn't do... I mean, I'm sure he's done stuff to help it, but, like, he was just born with that voice.
Oh, it's
Lana!
Archer, Bob's Burgers, John Benjamin has a van, Home Movies,
Home Movies is good too.
yeah,
Freak Show.
Did you ever watch Frisky Dingo?
yeah.
I fucking love Frisky Dingo.
That
dude.
was such a
That was my
great
favorite
show.
show. Killface.
That was a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, like, pre-Archer. Wasn't the
It was like the
character,
same-
Archer, the character in that? Or there's someone
Basically.
similar?
Kinda. It was based on that role.
Shoemaker was always watching those. Was it when he was working at, like, Zoomies or something?
Yeah. That sounds
Wave.
about right.
Hidden Wave?
Yeah.
And he, like, we'd go in there and he would just be watching.
That's somebody who I haven't seen in years.
He refuses to come on the podcast. He was the first guy I asked,
Oh, really?
other than Blair.
Why does he refuse?
He doesn't want to.
Because
he's
Shoemaker.
yeah. He's like, I like podcasts, but I don't want to listen to myself talk for 2 hours.
Don't listen to the episode. I don't listen to most. I listen to just enough of our episodes to like edit it
To know what you're doing.
and usually that's like I have to listen to like where we start the break, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh,
do I
not
need
to mention, he was like my best friend from ages like 18 to 23.
You guys were
So
pretty
we
tight.
have some pretty good stories that we can tell, but fucker won't come on.
God, I haven't seen him since Peterson's kid's birthday, a
damn.
couple years ago when him and Frizzell were there, and I was like, God, I haven't seen you guys for years.
Shoemaker was one of the original Red Rockets, right? Or did he take over in the second season when Chin left or something like that?
He came over after somebody left, and
I think Chin left. Chin was playing short, and I think Shoemaker came in
he
and
had
played
like a
short.
10-inch glove. It was like this far over his head.
Probably the one that we played Little League with. Yeah.
He was good though.
Shoemaker was the man. Shoemaker is the man.
Anything he put his mind to, he could do.
We have some funny ass videos that we could.
Oh, I don't know where it is, but on an old little mini DV camera that I had senior year in high school, I had a party at my dad's place when he was gone, and I don't remember why this happened, but Shoemaker got on top of the roof and jumped and did like an elbow drop into the bush and in the front little yard, and I'm just like, I wish I could find that footage.
Dude has no fear.
Yeah, I was like,
And then Caleb Johnson were like,
oh,
He's
God.
all for the camera too.
Yeah. Oh, attention whores.
Yep.
Yep.
and we don't know any friends like that.
No.
Very well.
No. Never.
God, we're doing the Game of Thrones like trivia podcast, and Hook is just randomly starting conversations with Blair that are completely unrelated. He just can't stop.
Keeping Hooker
It was pretty
online is like one of the hardest things. I don't know how Elizabeth is gonna stand him.
But that's why. Well, that's the fact that she does that. That's why, like in his wedding, I was like, you can put up with Corey and Hooker together, like.
You can handle anything.
He better not let you go, because otherwise he's fucked. No,
hold on to this like grim death. Yeah.
Did you listen to our episode? The one with Corey was called Corey's Stories.
I saw it. I didn't read. I didn't listen to it. No.
Well, so we recorded the regular episode like we're doing right now, and then we get done, and we'd had lunch and had some drinks, and then we were drinking during the podcast, and we're like, all right, we're done. He's like, that's it? He's like, I got more stories, and we're like,
I ain't done.
We're assuming Air Force, Afghanistan. He
Yeah,
starts
'cause
making up stories immediately as soon as we start. Throws me off. Luckily, Ricky recovers and starts playing along with him. And I played the like person who they're telling the stories to,
The moderator.
basically, like who's asking questions and shit. But we definitely want to get Corey and Hook together, just making up stories, because they could do it for hours.
Oh, they are a hell of a dynamic duo.
We definitely need to, like we were talking earlier, get some poker nights. We've talked about other things too. Shit, I need to make notes.
We need to get more people from your
Well,
Cody P.
see,
one of my best friends growing up.
I'm going to the Mariner game on Friday with Cody.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but
So we're going, that's Tuesday is the 16th, so we're going
he had
Tuesday.
a big life change around.
Yeah, he just had a second kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's why we're going to the Mariner game, so he can actually, have a day away. And,
It's like him
yeah.
and Ingman, Adam. I played with all your guys' grade.
Yeah, see,
That's what I did too until about. Well, I quit baseball pretty early, so soccer I jumped up at like age 12. I jumped up to the people who were technically older than me, but like same grade.
yeah.
I played with them all till high school, and then in high school I had to play with all my normal age friends, and then just lost interest.
Yeah, like Cody is one of the only ones from my class that I stay in contact with. Like,
Cody's awesome.
a lot of them I just, ugh.
Yeah.
reveal themselves to just be utter pieces of shit. It's like, yeah, no, be gone with you from my life. So Cody's like one of the few from my class that I'm actually still friends with. Like I'm actually friends with more people in your class
That makes
still
sense.
than I am with people in mine. I think that's probably because I'm older than you guys.
All the people in my class shun you now.
I get along with you guys better because I'm around your similar age.
Anyone from my class who I wasn't good friends with now just shuns me. Like if I tried to reach out, like, hey, what's going on these days? They just ignore me.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
the Facebook wall post like, "Hey, it's been a while. Hope everything's are good. Bye." You
get the
Talk
one
to you in 3 years.
yeah, you get the one nice response back, like, oh yeah, hey, things are good. And then if you like try to go further than that, they're like, hey, whoa, I've got my friends. Like, we're at our age where like We have our friends. We're not looking for more.
It's like Seinfeld. Hey, I've got 3 friends. I can't really handle anymore.
I told you Matt would pop in at some point. Yeah, I'd love it when I'm right.
Did you guys know that you could do Bet DSI up here?
DSI? What's DSI?
Bet DSI? It's like one of those websites, like the betting websites.
For like sports betting?
Yeah.
I did not.
This is a
I
revelation.
used to do Bodog back in the day.
Well,
Don't tell me about that. Last thing I need to know is I can start betting on sports.
They advertised on one of the podcasts, on a bunch of the podcasts I listened to, and I was just checking it out. And then one of the people called me, and I was like, "You can't do that, Washington." He's like, "Yeah." He said that they're based over somewhere else. Like,
See, I thought that didn't
in a
matter.
different country, so
Interesting.
you can still do it.
huh.
And then they do a thing when you first start that if you put in money, then they'll match it up to like $500.
Whoa, that's a lot. Like they always have a thing like that, but it's usually like 50 or
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
Usually have like a cost cap on it or whatever.
I forgot I didn't have this thing plugged in. Prefer it not plugged in. Did you like how clean the
Matt's
table is this
Minute?
time, Ricky?
We're gonna call it Matt's Minute.
Matt's Minute?
Matt's
Matt's
Minute.
Minute. So Matt's Minute, he popped in. DSI,
I
sports
like how
betting.
It's off frame too. It's like we're all just looking.
DSI betting, you can apparently do that in Washington now. So look it up. They're advertising on a lot of podcasts he listens to. He's a big...
He's into MMA podcasts and like Tiger Belly, Joe Rogan.
Rogan. Yeah, I remember he was big in Rogan.
There's a sports one that he listens to too.
We got to get him back on. I don't know, any other topics you guys had? We went through all the ones I did. I guess the only other one I had was I noticed on Facebook you said that your 2 favorite teams in the NBA right now are the Warriors and Blazers.
Yeah.
Which I'm a Warriors guy. 'Cause
Makes
of Durant and
really
Clay.
conflicted. I'll tell you that.
Never been a Warriors guy.
Does it make
Really
you
love
conflicted?
Clay, though.
They haven't played each other in the playoffs, have they?
when I went to that game in Portland that
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
Kerr got thrown out of, I was like, we specifically went to that game to see them because before they break up this year, like Durant's
assuming
going to be
Durant's leaving, huh?
or at least Boogie.
Everybody is.
Yeah, you don't know. So this was the last year.
It's going to be a crazy offseason.
But like Durant was my favorite player from Sonic days, the 1 year, and then I had to hate him for being OKC Thunder, and then I was happy when he left. So he could have went to any other team, and I would have rooted for them.
I mean, I went the opposite way. I didn't hate on OKC. I rooted for him and Westbrook and Harden until he left, and Ibaka.
I'm still bitter.
But so now, Warriors because of Durant and Clay. I've been very open with that.
See, Clay's awesome, and Steph is just fun to watch. Like,
Both two awesome guys.
yeah, like
Can't root for them though because my allegiance is to the Lakers.
But
unfortunately,
sitting there we spent $150 for a ticket to go to the Warriors Blazers game to see them, and I'm sitting there for the entire game just like stressing out because I'm happy that one team got a basket, then I'm conflicted that the other team didn't get a basket. And, I wanted Portland to win the game because they're the home team and, they needed to win more. And, like, every time, like...
Well, that's how you have to choose.
Yeah,
who needs the win?
Yeah, and it's like Steph would,
not the Warriors.
Like, Dame would go hit a shot, and then Steph would hit another shot, and I'm like, oh, God. Like, how... Like, I'm actually rooting against these guys? Like, I know better than this.
that game in Minnesota where Durant gets fouled on the 3, sinks in anyway, gets called back. Curry hits the impossible corner 3.
And then runs down and fucking points at the ref, taunting. And then
how did he not get a technical
He
for
gets
that?
fined 4 days later.
He should have been teed up for that.
Like, he
And then-
literally
Melo
should have
got
been.
teed up one game for throwing his headband at his own bench.
Well,
Like,
that's
not even
Melo.
looking at a ref.
Like, Melo is
Melo
gonna
got,
Melo.
he got
Like,
excommunicated.
But the whole rooting for two different teams, I understand because Mariners Red Sox are like 1A, 1B for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they played head to head, I root Mariners.
See,
But then in the playoffs, it's never come up.
yeah. Well,
Never had to choose.
and like I know, like if they meet in the playoffs, like it's no chance. Like I know that. So it's like it's like I'm rooting for the Blazers, but I'm realistic that they're not gonna get past it.
They need your support.
They need my belief.
More
They're
than
not
ever.
gonna have it right now without a couple better players.
They need.
They need Nurkic back.
They
and
didn't
then
do, they didn't do
They
shit this year.
should have turned for Blake.
They
Blake
sh-
has been a fucking monster. Since they went
okay,
to-
if I had a
They'd have had to give up too much for him.
Yeah. If I had a dream player to put on with Damian Lillard right now, it'd be Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard and Damian Lillard would be one hell of a 1-2 punch for that team. But, that's his wishful thinking.
Of course.
But yeah, since the Sonics left, I've had to make do with what I have. And Portland being the closest and being actually okay with Damian is why I root for them.
The way the NBA happened this year, now I'm rooting for Durant to go to the Mavericks and play with Doncic and Porzingis.
Dude, if as long as Porzingis doesn't, end up in jail in New York on a rape charge.
All right, so let's address that because, so this woman lived in his building. She's claiming he invited her in and then raped her on a night that he tore his ACL.
Yeah, it's not the most intelligent
And she also
thing.
didn't
Terrible
report
timing.
it to the police because supposedly they were trying to pay her off. Yet they reported it immediately because she was asking for money immediately.
Yeah, $68,000 for her brother's
So
college.
I can't imagine
or whatever.
he's going to end up in any trouble at all when they reported it immediately and she waited a year and it supposedly happened hours after he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Do some research. Pick a better night.
They're all question marks.
I just can't imagine this really happened. Who is, first of all, not in the hospital? One, why wasn't he in the hospital still for a perfect alibi?
Yeah.
So that is a little weird.
Yeah, that is.
I mean,
He must have
Yeah.
actually gone home, or they would just be like, "Well,
Maybe-
you're an idiot.
maybe at a club to
Look
get
at
to
when I
that
checked
night.
in and checked out of the hospital." But I don't know. I just don't feel like if I personally was deciding I was going to rape someone in my building, I don't feel like it'd be when my ACL had just been torn and is in utter pain.
I don't want to sound insensitive, but you can't really get a lot of leverage on one ACL.
And I won't lie though. But
You'd have
yeah.
to be really threatening with that crutch.
And I won't lie. I've thought a lot about when I would rape somebody. So
We're very anti-rape podcast. Just want to get that out there.
Very anti.
pro Thanos, anti-rape.
yeah,
We're mixed bag.
It's
on,
a line.
incest.
Pro Thanos, anti-rape. Thanos can be pro Thanos and also anti-rape. I'm just saying.
That's why you got rid of half the people.
But at least Porzingis is going to be there. Unlike Magic Johnson, who just dropped a bomb in the middle of a fucking game
Yeah,
and
shit.
just.
We should address
That's-
that real quick before we wrap this one up.
apparently that's consistent throughout Magic's life.
Well, you look at the Lakers coach. He was 1 year, maybe if that.
Yeah.
He had a talk show host. He was a talk show host for a day, and then realized that was not going to happen.
I was listening to the BS podcast. He put out an emergency one today, and he said he did the same exact thing on Countdown.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he just quit abruptly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Interesting.
he finds something he finds the small amount of things that he can't physically do, and then he just ripcords out of the plane. I'm not dealing with it.
Well, and what he said was he couldn't
not having
handle
fun.
the backstabbing and the talking behind backs. So
Yeah.
he's making it sound like there was a lot of drama going on in the background.
When he was
for Lakers.
probably at least 50% of the cause of that.
And he cited I can't even tweet great career Dwayne Wade
Without
otherwise
getting-
I'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
tampering.
He said he couldn't do something with Serena
With
Williams.
or with
yeah.
Simmons,
Yeah,
Ben Simmons.
yeah,
Oh.
it's just he wanted the freedom of being Magic Johnson again instead of Irwin President Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a lot of talk that really he was leaving the day to day to Pelinka, and he didn't want to have to deal with that shit. And
Well,
yet
apparently
it
he
was
was never on board with Pelinka in the first place.
Well, and apparently he wasn't even there most of the time.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Pelinka would walk into the Lakers training facility, and the first thing he would say is, "Oh, Magic not here." Just to rub it, point it out to everybody, "Oh, hey, where's Magic? Oh, he's not here. Oh, yeah."
I will say I'm on board with him not talking to Jeannie beforehand because his excuse was
she's guilty.
she would
then.
talk me
Yeah.
into it.
I
and
mean, I get
I've
it.
had to do that. I've
Same
had to
way.
quit jobs like that
I get it. Yeah.
That's
because
why I
they've
quit
talked me into staying.
Yeah, I quit Domino's the week that I knew every general manager and everybody important was in Vegas
Yeah.
because I knew that they wouldn't.
That's your exit strategy.
Yep.
I get it. It doesn't make it the whole clusterfuck of a Lakers season go any better, but I get it.
So does Luke Walton have a chance to keep the job then?
Well, he's employed today,
Will
which
the new
is
president?
Apparently, he was planned on getting fired hours, and he knew he was going to get fired. But
yeah. Now who knows?
But Palinka's
I
the
hope not.
GM, right?
I love Luke.
So Palinka
Luke-
could still fire him.
Luke does not deserve to get fired.
Luke's
Luke's
No,
gonna
well,
get fired,
from-
but
from
Luke
my
does
age-
He'll
not
get another
deserve.
job. So
Yeah.
he's a good
Yeah.
coach, but
from
that's
my
the
age
thing.
and my fandom.
Yeah.
Luke over Magic.
But that's what they say is that you can be a good coach and not be a good fit with LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Because it all comes back down to LeBron.
Look at what before. What was it? LeBron left Miami when Cleveland signed David Blatt to be their head coach of a Kyrie Irving led lottery team, and then all of a sudden LeBron shows up, and then David Blatt's gone before the finals. It's it's not everybody can handle that little shitstorm tornado that comes in just
So, but Jeannie likes to hire people within the Laker family. So,
I don't think it's smart anymore.
Any chance Kobe's president?
That would be fucking amazing.
It would be amazing.
He
but
goes from Pelinka's client as his agent to his boss.
I think Kobe is having way too much time winning Emmys and
fucking Oscars.
and teaching his daughter how to be a Mamba mentality. Like
All he did was
killer.
spend a bunch of money to produce it.
Kobe
Yeah.
could still play if he wanted to. I just don't think he's
Go to the
hard.
big three.
I don't think it's harder than basketball.
He's got so many other things.
Yeah,
he
but
wants
he
to do.
spends the off seasons mentoring young players.
But that's just mentoring.
So I
He-
think his
That's
heart is
brainwashing-
still in basketball.
No, that's brainwashing Jason Tatum. So
Yeah.
to ruin him.
Sabotage the Celtics.
sabotaging a next Celtic great. That's literally what he's been trying to do. Like that's
You guys
on
are listening
brand.
to way too much Bill
Oh
Simmons.
no, the tales of Kobe inviting a rookie, stealing his move, and never talking to him again. That's fucking cold-blooded. That's why we love Kobe.
There's no point in him doing that now. He
That's why
doesn't play.
Kobe's better than Mike.
Or yeah, there's-
Kobe put so
or
much
the-
work into his craft.
or Michael,
and Mike
punch.
didn't.
No, he didn't. He fucking walked away from the game.
For his father, and then he came back,
Oh,
and then he
Bill
walked away
was
again, and then he came
no.
back.
Garbage.
And even with
And
all
then he
that,
came back
was
with the
still,
Wizards?
And
What
even
did he
with
do
that,
with the
he was
Wizards?
still better.
What
Was
did he
that
do with the
actually
Wizards
Michael?
after his prime?
Yeah.
Yeah, after he finally decided.
What have the
he loved
Wizards
the
ever
game.
done? They've never been good. It's not like they
Exactly.
were only bad while he was
That's
there.
because Mike is trash.
That's a fair
Kobe-
assessment.
You look at the roster of that team too; it's just full of past their prime veterans.
Rip
Yeah,
Hamilton.
exactly.
I don't remember what.
Not
year that
even
was.
face mask Rip Hamilton. It was prior to face mask or pre-prime Rip Hamilton.
Their last meeting, Kobe dropped at least 40 on Mike.
Well, I think most people did.
Yeah, but
Everyone went after him if they could on the Wizards, but he also averaged a bunch of points.
For an old man, yeah, he definitely had a decent showing.
I'm trying to remember what years he played there.
It was like 2000.
2012. Wait, there's a player in the league now.
Did he score 60 his last game?
Oh, no.
He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't take 50. He didn't take 50 shots his last game.
Okay, Dirk
50 shots.
and D Wade
30.
combined
That was
30
fucking
apiece.
Sick, yeah.
But they even then, like Magic stole their thunder.
I know.
He's
that
like
was-
he
that
want
was
he
insane.
like he
That was
wanted
the big
to.
talk about his like. That's the Stephen A's only issue with it that he kept wanting to talk about this morning. So
Yeah.
watching the shows was like,
Why then?
Then like, why did
He
you take every storyline?
Literally could have been
That's 'cause
an hour
D-Wade
later. Yeah,
Not that good? Dirk?
What?
Not that good.
yeah, not anymore. But
Well, yeah, right now.
but still, like it was a douche move for him to say that, oh, I want to be free to be able to go celebrate Dwayne Wade, and then also
And be
do
himself.
that.
And take away from
Yeah.
him.
He's like, I want to be myself.
Fucking, it's just like I get it. It's just stupid.
I'm actually glad D-Wade didn't make the playoffs.
Dude, listen to this roster.
A
for
lot
the,
of people
the
in
2000
Miami are too.
The
Yeah.
2001-2002 Washington Wizards.
Oh God.
Kwame Brown,
Ugh.
who they rookie year right out of high school. Rip Hamilton, like you
He won a
said,
title with
in
Kobe.
his second year.
He won a title with Kobe.
Brendan Haywood,
Oh God.
Michael Jordan, Christian Laettner, Tyronn Lue in his third year.
Step over. A little.
Also won a title with Kobe.
Damn it. There's another one further down that I know was even better because I saw it the other day.
Well, wasn't Stackhouse on that team for
I
like
fucking love
a
Stackhouse.
minute? Yeah, like 4 minutes later, and then he's gone. It's like, no, we can only have one UNC member here. Get out, Stack. I like Stack. I just think he got a bad rap because he wasn't Grant Hill.
Yeah.
So on the 2002-2003, they also had Charles Oakley
Oh,
in his 17 years of experience going into that.
That's 17 years of being an enforcer.
Yeah, Brian Russell,
Oh,
Jerry Stackhouse,
Russell probably won a title with the Lakers too.
a young Eaton Thomas, Larry Hughes,
oh God.
who
Good.
played with LeBron for a while.
I was just listening to the thing about him. He came out too early because his family was in such a bad position.
Yeah.
He needed to make the money.
Yeah.
Well, he was a straight scorer. I think he would probably be better in today's game than he was with more
Then,
space than he
yeah.
was then with playing along
He was a
LeBron.
solid
Oh,
contributor.
you
I thought he
think
was
think
good.
of somebody that would succeed in this day and age?
I think he might have made an all-star
Tracy
game.
McGrady.
Tracy McGrady.
Well, if for him it was health. That's
What
all.
about
Well,
Asians?
yeah, if he would have stayed healthy in this day and age, it would have been like his
Well, and if he ever
Yeah.
played on a team where he didn't have to be the number one creator for everybody,
yeah.
What about Agent Zero?
Well,
Gilbert.
bringing in the
Fucking
automatic
madness,
weapons,
dude.
yeah.
He'd be madness.
gambling and guns in the locker room.
Remind
I
me.
can't support that. regime.
Remind me never to make a bet with Gilbert Arenas. I'm just saying, yeah.
All right, so we all assume the Warriors are going to win, right?
Oh yeah.
No, Warriors are going to implode. The fucking Raptors are going to win.
Raptors out of the East?
That's who I picked in the beginning of the year. I'm not going to waver now.
Wow,
That's true. We got
okay.
it. Oh, yeah, let's go. We should look at that real fast, even though we're already 2 hours in. Let's look back at our notes from when we were an NBA podcast.
I don't think
We got
gotta pivot.
I had LeBron. Actually, I chose LeBron as MVP. Ricky chose
Wow.
Kawhi, of all things.
Okay.
I
If Kawhi would have played more games, we
just
might have
really
been-
thought the
conversation.
Lakers
I don't know why I didn't pick Giannis.
would be like a 4 seed, and that would be good enough.
Well, that's the difference between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference.
Pretty much.
We both had Kawhi as the comeback player of the year, defense player of the year. You had AD. I took Draymond. I don't think either of them has a chance at winning it.
No.
Obviously not.
No.
Western
not
Conference
fair, though.
champs. You took the Lakers. Good.
Of course.
Well, he's on brand, so yeah.
But yeah, you had Toronto winning it. I had Golden State. I had
But-
Boston from the
Yeah.
East.
My claim was always that Golden State's going to implode sometime within the year, and they're not going to make the finals.
Well, when Draymond was calling KD a bitch a couple emphatically, and Klay Thompson is sitting right in the middle of them, just looking like, God, I got to sit here between you fuckers.
But honestly,
Like-
it doesn't even matter because KD is still an assassin. He
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
give a shit.
No,
he's
he's-
gonna walk into a game and he's gonna hit his shots.
The only thing that
he's the
can
most consistent player they have.
the only thing that can get to him is if somebody on Twitter or Instagram pisses him off before the game.
Did you see it? I was just watching. Michael Rappaport was like,
And I say that liking Kevin Durant, but still,
Katie, you can't not
fake
like
account.
KD.
I love that he had a fake
Yeah.
account. I'm not even mad about it.
His reasonings was pretty good. Like,
wanted-
I can't have a normal thing when people know it's me.
yeah, he can't
So,
say what he
I
wants
can't
to say.
have a conversation or debate.
And
Yeah.
I fully get that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny that, the burner account will go down in NBA infamy.
It's not like he was doing it like, what was the 76ers claim?
See that
Oh God.
Colangelo.
outright like telling people he was great or something, or like
Colangelo.
or he
yeah.
was straight blaming the players.
Leave the caller alone.
and-
The caller's fine.
And didn't he have his wife like tweeting for him or like another like it
Well,
was
one of they were all tracked to her phone number.
yeah. So like how
So it was like he was using her phone number he created accounts through her phone number. Like,
buy a
people
burner?
it's still not going to get back to you. Like, it was his wife, not him. Like,
This should be like a staple for like real life like life goals. If you're gonna have a burner account, get a burner phone number.
there you go.
Like-
Google, get a
Text app is free.
Yeah.
You just download a text app.
Yeah, like it's
Google
not
Voice.
hard.
You can get a different phone number.
It's not hard
Google
to
or-
do that.
I don't know.
What a fuck.
But yeah, fucking burner accounts, man. Like, can't say what I want
It
to
was-
say.
It was AB talking shit about Juju for some fucking reason.
That's one that you wish that he was on a
Yeah,
burner
like, what
account.
the fuck are you doing? And then Michael Rappaport was like, get a life. And then you scroll down, Katie. Why don't you get a life? Like, oh, God damn it, Katie.
Yeah, you spent your life talking about my life. Who's here is better off?
yeah.
Who's the?
who spends like every 6-hour plane ride just twittering or on their phone, just like, oh, who can I reply to now?
I mean, how great is that though? That we have rich people in this country whose entire job is to talk about other people's lives. Like, talk about how well that guy does at his job.
See, that's the American dream right there.
That's what we're doing right now. That's what
Well,
we're
that's
trying
what
to
That's
do.
what I'm trying to boost. Like, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith reposted a thing that he had posted years back where he's like, LeBron, Jay-Z, that's not the American dream for black men. I am the American dream because this is like
Real.
you have
It's
a
possible.
1 in a trillion
Yeah.
chance to be LeBron or Jay-Z. You couldn't be
It's
Stephen A.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great.
And what's the
You gotta respect Stephen A.
Stephen
Who are
A.
those
is
guys
awesome.
That man
yeah.
put in fucking hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are the two dudes who got the Stars show for their like YouTube podcast?
Oh, Jesus
show?
and Mero?
Jesus and
Jesus
Mero,
and Mero.
yeah.
I fucking
Like,
love Diaz and
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Bad
they're
Boys.
there's two guys who just like hang out and
Yeah.
talk
Started
about
out
shit
on
and make
Vice
jokes
and then went up. Yeah.
Even
what-
making it on Vice to have your own show is fucking like a daily show on Vice.
Yeah, it's something. It's something I'd like my travel documentary series to be on, like that, or
We need to put you on the E channel.
Hey, no E channel, no E channel.
Party on.
Yeah.
With Andrew Adkins.
God,
What's wrong
God
with the
damn
E
it.
channel?
What am I, Jenny
Remember
McCarthy?
back
No,
when we were in
Brooke
high
Burke.
school, Howard Stern's show was on the E channel? Was on E?
And then it was Howard Stern, and then it was Party On right
okay.
after.
If we're getting the Howard Stern E channel, I'm for it. Anything
great.
post Howard Stern E channel, I'm not. For.
Because they
See,
played everything. They
no,
just
it would
put
be-
fuzzies over the chicks' tits and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're Howard Stern. You're Party On.
Okay, I'm for it. I'll take that. I will take that. Yeah.
We should do something with, we need to figure out stuff for our YouTube channel that can be like short 20 to 30 minute videos that
We
are
need to
not
go
just-
traveling with Adkins.
not
apparently.
just our podcast,
Yeah.
because I know some people have told me they
We should
really
do a festival with Adkins.
Come. Oh, I was gonna tell you. Well, I told you
festival
about
of
that.
Atkins?
I told you about
festival. What do you mean a festival?
that. Go to a music festival.
Music festival.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
Atkins.
We can
Definitely
make
go to
an episode of it. Like I can do a part for my travel doc, and you can
get
do a part for yours.
really high on hardcore drugs, and then we'll tell
Woo!
stories about whatever we can remember.
What-
after.
what
You call them hardcore drugs. I
what-
call them breakfast.
What a Wednesday, right? But yeah, no, like any of the concerts I'm going to, we want to make something
I
out of.
definitely want to do one this summer, at least one like festival, like legit, like not one night concert, but
Okay.
that too.
Well,
I like feeding off like concerts. What I love is like I love feeding off everyone else's passion for the music.
see, if you come to the Gorge for that Above and Beyond weekend, like most people there, like are there because they're absolutely passionate about the music. So it would be quite the experience to experience firsthand, without going in. Like,
I love feeding off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a super extroverted person or outgoing person, but I feed off people who are like that, and it like
yeah. See, like
energizes me.
like that venue or that concert is going to be a lot better atmosphere than the Rob Zombie Marilyn Manson concert I want to go to down in and at the end of like August or whatever. That's going to be full of a lot of douchebags.
Gotta
Oh,
be
that-
some good mosh pits.
And
though.
that's what's it called?
What, Twins of Evil or whatever.
It's at the amphitheater that
Well,
nobody likes
it's
to go to.
the shithole White River Amphitheater.
River.
Okay, the amphitheater itself is not bad.
The fucking way to get
The
there is one
traffic,
road.
the traffic in and out is fucking horrible.
Oh, it sucks.
So, like the night before they play at White River, they play in Portland. My goal is to go to the Portland concert because it would take the same amount of time to drive to Portland and back to go to that show as it would to go to the White River and wait 6 hours to get out of that parking
Oh
lot.
yeah, definitely.
A much better usage of my time. And I'm much less pissed off when I'm not sitting in
Or
traffic.
whenever you leave 3 hours early and you somehow still manage to show up an hour late for the show.
Yeah. But yeah, come to a show this summer or whatever. We can do something cool with it.
I definitely want to.
Yeah.
Any other things you guys want to hit real fast, or we should do some plugs and wrap this one up?
What's your website,
We
actually?
need to start, that's what I said. We need to start doing plugs. We don't do a good job of that. Even people who don't have like, I don't care if you're plugging your own shit or just plugging shit that you're gonna go do that, or that you would like to but can't do. Like,
So
you should do that. All the good shows do plugs at the end.
my website is still in the beginning phases of it, but it's the free WordPress version of it. So it's got andrewadkinsart.wordpress.com, and then the video like examples of like documentaries and competitions and all the music videos that I've done. That's on vimeo.com/AndrewAdkins.
Vimeo is good.
It's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'll send you guys a link to it too, so you guys can check out like the first 5 episodes of that Toronto train wreck documentary.
Nice, yeah.
That does sound good. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And we can share that too.
And then next time I might be able to show you like the final 5 episodes of the 6 through 10 that have been in process the last 8 months.
Fuck man, I hate editing. I've like been learning for this.
Okay.
And I do it as basic as I possibly can and have it sound like
So
decent.
before I get out of here, I'll tell you, you hate editing. The amount of footage that I filmed for that Toronto documentary of conference calls, of meetings, of random stupid shit that never came to fruition, and I had to go through it all to edit.
I
Oh,
don't edit video, so I'm not cutting anything up.
So
I'm not like,
imagine
putting things
20
together.
hours of somebody talking, and you have to go get a half hour of usable shit. So like, okay, I filmed 25 hours worth of footage of that 2-month adventure in Toronto. The documentary, all told, will be 30 minutes.
I get
That's
annoyed
wild.
just with this podcast having to edit in our like fake sponsor in the middle.
Yeah, right.
Just that. So
My
when I
only-
started Chaos as a Ladder, and literally editing that is back to like how we originally were before we did like a break. 'Cause
Yeah.
we didn't do any break.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is great. I just put in an intro and an outro and do a little bit of sound quality, but I don't know
We had
how to
like
do
3 or
much.
4 breaks in
I
that
do
one.
like compress it
Yeah.
and like maybe
one effect
turn
here
the volume
and there.
down.
Yeah.
But I don't even put effects in. Oh yeah, Andrew can teach us how to make like a soundboard shit.
Nice.
So we can do sound effects like
My
you usually on your phone.
my editing experience is looking through mistakes at someone trying to trick,
Yeah, escape it.
and then trying to get that piece together.
You and Hoover, yeah. I mean, it'd be fun. We did the video like one time where because we're recording this live, so we cut one into like a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
But we just picked a 10-minute section. We didn't like cut up pieces and put them together.
Yeah, trying to
And
make
then
a
we added
cohesive
whatever
story.
effects Came on my
I put Brad's picture on the end. And
yeah my free video editor. We like added
I just use iMovie for
Yeah.
my iPhone.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the professional one I'm using now is on my iPad Pro. It's called Luma Fusion. It was like a $30 app, but it does everything Final Cut. It's like basic.
Fuck.
It's like a
That's good to
basic
know.
level Final Cut. So like you can't do anything like really really involved like special effects or anything. But if you want to do like basic shit, like it's gold.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Johnson, like I said, our part of the Northern State Podcast Network. He got some editor from his student discount because he's in school right now. Mm-hmm. So he's been playing around with a few different cheap apps, but like they actually cost money to help with like editing or voice changing stuff. So he can like he created the little intro thing.
His problem is the
yeah, I don't know. He's played a lot more around with the production stuff, like creating little sound clips and things. But for some reason, when he records at his house,
that's all you hear.
it's weird.
Really?
His 2 episodes ago, he must have left the echo thing on. It sounded weird, and then he got it off for this new one. Yeah, and like he sounded better on this new one, but you still got his breathing or like weird little sounds. That's never happened when we've recorded with him. Even when we did outdoor at Northern State, we did a video there.
But then it did happen whenever you were on his Skype.
Well, that was on my laptop. When I record on my laptop, it does that.
Maybe
Okay.
that's the answer.
It
Maybe
might not have the sound card or video card to be able to do both.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, maybe he's just recording from his computer and not actually his mics.
Oh, when he's at his house?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we should check that. Because we used his digital recorder up at Northern State. So there's the 3 of us, and we're outdoors, tons of noise. And yet the audio quality on that sounded way better than it does when he does his. I should help. Yeah, we need to, like I said,
Do a full setup.
you and him need to get
We've never even been
together
to his house.
on like a day and like put together our like the little accumulated knowledge we've come up with. Because like I said, he does better. He's spent more time coming up with effects and like changing the voice so you can make things. And I've done more. I think I've done more with the editing, and I've figured out Mixer. He has a digital recorder, which is way different. But either way, we end up talking a lot about things we should do on recordings that we probably should be talking about off mic.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Speaking of off mic, Ricky, where's the bathroom at?
Oh, just go straight in, past the kitchen to the left.
Past the kitchen to the left.
All right, we'll do our plugs and we'll wrap this one up. We don't do often enough telling people to follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram, please.
We post
Subscribe,
our newest. We post our newest when our newest episodes are out.
I will say that you having that subscribe, please, seems a little desperate. And
I took it off.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm just saying that we got to come up with a better strategy.
That's what everyone does. They just say, please subscribe. Don't
Yeah.
bother listening. We don't care. I mean, listen if you want. We got Google Podcasts is resolved. I don't know what's going on with iTunes. I don't know if they just take longer. I don't want to have to call them, but we might have to.
My feed hasn't refreshed, and it won't play previous episodes.
It's not doing it won't play the previous, like, before Corey.
No. I have those 2 downloaded, so that's why they play.
So it's ever since I deleted Podbean. So like I said, we updated it so I know it can work correctly. They need to update their shit. And I think I heard something about they do it every 5 days. And I did
Should've been
update.
done a while ago.
I updated the I only updated the website like 2 days ago. So
Really?
if you have, if you're
I
subscribed,
thought you did it at least a week ago.
not the website part.
Oh.
I deleted Podbean.
Yeah.
And then it took a while before I realized, oh, fuck, I had the Podbean website as our website on Transistor.
Uh-huh.
So then I had to activate the Transistor website and put that in. Whatever. Everything is correct now. I just need iTunes to update so they can pull it, start doing it correct.
Get those episodes back.
Yeah, because on Google Podcasts, I looked today and it had the Christine episode shows up on there now. And then I also posted the first Chaos is a Ladder.
Nice.
So that shows up on our feed on Google Podcasts. I need to subscribe to it. So I created a new podcast called Chaos is a Ladder,
Chaos.
which is a quote Chaos. It's a quote from Game of Thrones. We did the first episode. Ricky was our trivia maester.
I did a pretty good job, didn't I?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was a chaotic podcast because Blair and Hook kept getting up and talking from across the room and shit. And
Yeah, we had tacos and tequila going.
yeah, Blair was using a blender a few times. I was managed to reduce some of that noise.
Nice.
So at least when it comes on the podcast, it's not like it doesn't kill you, but you definitely hear it big time. I was like, that's fine. So definitely subscribe, at least for now, on Google Podcasts or on Transistor FM for
You can still subscribe on iTunes. You just won't get
Chaos is
anything.
a Ladder. Well, Chaos is a Ladder won't show up on iTunes yet. Fairweather Friends, subscribe on iTunes. It will be if we have to call them, I will fucking call them.
Stitcher and Spotify.
Spotify for sure. I don't know about Stitcher. I think that thing was all fucked up.
Oh, well. Stitcher and Spotify.
We're going to go through eventually because on Transistor FM, they have spots for like all the different places that you can just like put your thing on. So I need to go to those different websites and just submit it. There's a lot of them, though. It was like a shit long list. But
Becoming more and more every day. Yeah.
subscribe on YouTube, too. We're live right now while we're filming it. We do that once in a while. Like when we film in studio, we just record it live because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Transistor also posts them with just our picture.
No, that's cool.
So you can listen to the podcast on YouTube, too. But I've had some people tell me that they stay more engaged when they watch it on YouTube.
I've been watching a lot of podcasts on YouTube lately.
Yeah, like I could see that, throwing them on in the background and not
Play some Madden.
I'll tell you what, going through like the 20 hours of footage that I had accumulated that I had to go through, I have something on the background, like either a podcast or a game or something that I could turn to, like to not want to kill myself.
That definitely makes sense. I mean, anything else to plug? If you're in town, you want to go to the Mariners game on the 16th, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Anybody? Anybody got any shows they want to do? Anybody got any concerts they want to go to?
Yeah, do you want to hang out or do you want to come on the show?
Yeah.
Do you want to have your own podcast? Jared Johnson, and we're trying to expand this network if we can. It's tough. We're all busy and working, and we're trying to do this on the side.
Adult lives.
But if you want to do a show, you have an idea of something you want to talk about, whether you want to do it by yourself or with a co-host, we've got equipment.
Even if you want to just come in and use the equipment and have us.
Yeah, you can use the equipment and do it by yourself, or if you want to use the equipment and have someone to come on and bounce stuff off of, we'll jump in. We might guest host for Jared Johnson on his Rain City Sports because he's going to be out of town for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Got my Cowboys corner.
Yeah. So we gotta get
dying on that hill, aren't you? Yep.
Ricky's not a huge.
We beat you guys
Seattle
last
sports
year.
fan.
This has been the greatest summer of my life.
But that's our like most successful thing we did was that live video. It got a couple hundred views.
Good.
We're just trying to do a bunch of little stuff and just have fun. And more people I think are like, hey, I want to be on the show. Like we get more people complain about not being guests than even tell us they want to be guests.
I think if we get one with us three at a concert or something and we put it out, people will see how much fun it is.
See,
And,
I'd
Record a podcast at the concert?
Or
we can
or
do
like
something
the
going
next
into,
day,
and then we can do like reactions.
I mean, we could definitely do a bunch of videos during it.
Yeah.
Some Instagram live videos. We can even do YouTube live on the phone. I'm gonna get a new phone. Fuck this phone. I'm 1 month from 2 years.
Oh, you're
And
holding on.
Well, the
Just
chargers,
fingernails are just clanging down.
now the charging cords don't seem to quite fit right,
Yep.
and they keep falling out. Or like today, I tried to charge it with my external battery, and it wouldn't charge. I'm like, all right, I was gonna wait, but I think I might just go a month early because it's like $35.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, in adulthood, $35 isn't that bad. Maybe if
Especially for someone as important as a phone.
in high school, that was a full rack of beer and a tank of gas.
And so
I'm not sacrificing my Busch Light.
Yeah,
Tall boys.
and I'll be getting the new Google Pixel
Nice.
XL. I have to get the big screen now for some reason.
Oh, you got to.
I can't stop myself.
The only reason
even
I
though it's
don't
like
have this
$8
is
more a month.
You do
Yeah,
you,
it's not
boo boo.
bad.
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
But that one has the super has the wide angle lens for the cameras.
There you
Oh,
go.
So it'll be
See?
way better if we do videos because we've done a few on Instagram, not
Yep.
many. I had some people comment about the disc golf one.
Really?
We got some watches on
Nice.
Yeah,
that
good.
on Instagram. You can't really look back because they disappear after 24 hours.
So that's the only thing. If you don't save it as your highlight or something, then it's just gone.
That's why
I'm
I
okay
say.
with that.
That's why I say
That.
we should do YouTube because
But yeah, the YouTube.
if we do
live
YouTube,
videos-
then the views add up. We got to have a certain amount of views,
that's true.
Yep.
and then we build up the subscriptions eventually,
And then you start getting paid. Yep.
I think we'll get more views on Instagram, but I think you're right. YouTube,
Is
at
a-
least it's going to track and they'll accumulate.
Yep.
So we can do both. I mean, who cares? We got to be everywhere. We don't have a Twitter presence.
Everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
We set up a Twitter
We are
account when
nothing.
it was NBA by amateurs.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. Yeah.
Oh, so he knows Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That was one of the names we thought about was like We Know Nothing, but there's already a podcast called that.
I would believe that. Probably after season 3 of the show is probably somebody
actually,
came
it's
up.
not a
with-
Game of Thrones podcast.
Really?
The We Know Nothing is literally it's just a random.
Just a bunch of people who don't know anything.
Yeah, so follow us on Instagram.
Might have to listen to it. I don't know.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, subscribe if you can. Even if you don't want to watch, just add a support for us. Which, if you've made it 2.5 hours into this podcast,
You must really like Adkins, and you
I
should
mean-
holler at him.
yeah. So
It's not easy.
to subscribe on YouTube.
It's not easy being this amazing, but somebody has to do it. God damn it! Yeah.
So it's probably a good time to wrap this one up. Thanks for coming on, Andrew. This
Yeah,
was-
thank
this
you
was
for
a fun
having me.
one.
Yeah, fucking
I'm
awesome.
glad you guys had me.
Only other person who has requested a specific episode is Darren Davis.
So
You
24, who's your favorite 24?
Me.
Yep.
If I'm gonna be selfish, I'm just gonna pick myself.
there you go.
Technically, I'm a 24 too.
Hey, flash the poster real fast for the video. And then, like I said, the only other person who's requested a specific episode is Darren Davis. He wants to be on
Number
episode 69.
Yeah.
Look at how awesome this is.
So we're
Perfect for the studio.
gonna get him on before that, and then just try to make sure we remember to have him on for episode 69 as well. Maybe that can just be a big stoner episode. We can just all get high and I don't know.
And just let.
Who knows what we'll talk about if we're high.
Episode 420 is way too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a couple years from that.
Maybe we can honor that one at episode 42.
Episode 69 should just be a smorgasbord of all over the place.
We gotta do
An
some
orgy, if you
episodes
will.
where we have multiple guests. Where like we have. Because the problem is though, every time we get someone on, and
Maybe-
they keep getting longer and longer.
Episode 69 should be a poker game.
that.
We could
That
have-
might be something that we would have to do, like just film it and
Right? Yeah.
then just make
So-
something out of it. Yeah.
At the pace we're going, we're doing about one a week. That means we got like 45 weeks.
Well, we hit a lull.
which is almost a full year.
we did hit a lull, but we've got some people that want to come on.
We got a bunch, and the more we like don't have like I don't know, we get more people. Like I said, they just complain that they haven't been on, and we're like, one, you never told us you wanted to be on. Like we can only ask so many people. Ricky's posted on Facebook more than once,
Yeah,
usually to only a couple comments. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey. But yeah, so we want people to come on. We want to do if you got video idea, like even if you don't want to be in the podcast, if you want to do a random 20 or 30-minute video, we're down for everything.
everything.
We're like Prestige Worldwide.
Prestige worldwide.
We're just about entertainment. It's just
Wait,
about entertainment.
I thought you were gonna go
Prestige.
Pitbull. Like you never go full Pitbull. You
Mr.
never
MIA.
go Mr. Worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide. International Entertainment Corporation Company, whatever. I actually have the shirt, boats and
Because tonight,
toes.
baby.
Should have wore
I
that.
promise tomorrow, baby.
Fucking Pitbull. Good God.
All right. Well, like I said in the beginning of the episode, this has been a Northern State podcast production. And I can't say we'll see you
We
next
gotta
time.
find a good sign off.
You'll hear us next. Yeah, people keep
have
complaining
any
about
good
this.
sign-offs?
Like, you don't have a good sign.
Because like
We've struggled every single episode.
one of my favorite podcasts is Tell 'em Steve Dave. They just say Tell 'em Steve Dave, and then it ends.
Tell him, Steve Dave. What?
Tell 'em Steve Dave. It's from Kevin Smith Universe.
Should we toast? What's the toast Hook always does to the? Oh, it's from Trailer Park Boys.
Should know this.
Motherfucker. He always toasts somebody. I can't steal it though. That's his thing. It's one of the characters on there. They toast to him. I don't know. We gotta come up with our own thing because we just ramble on at the end for like 5 minutes, and then eventually
Just cut.
Yeah, we gotta
literally
have a sign
edit
off.
out.
Fair weather friend, and then just end it.
What if we had like a
Thank you for being our friends.
Thank
Yes?
you for being
No?
a friend.
just get like a
being-
ninja smoke bomb and just drop it on the table and then just vanish?
I still don't know when to edit the podcast.
Just add the sound
Can't
effect.
argue with that.
I mean, we could say that. Thank you for being a friend, and then just
That
hit,
might be trademarked.
hit stop. Oh, it's definitely
Definitely
copyrighted.
trademarked. Yep.
But I've heard if you only use a small percentage, you don't get in trouble.
Dusted.
The music we have is from a free website. So, all right. Well, that's it. We're wrapping this one up. Thanks
Thanks.
for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And thank you
Check
for
us
being here.
out and follow Adkins on Facebook.
That's all you got from the
That's
interview?
all you get. Yeah. It's private too, so you got to request.
Bye-bye.